Real Solutions, hosted by Tyrone Thompson at TalkRealSolutions.com, are the views of Tyrone Thompson and do not reflect the views of TalkRealSolutions.com, YouTube, or etc. The content here belongs to Talk Real Solutions and its many contributors. Views and opinions expressed by all contributors belong to them and not TalkRealSolutions.com or Tyrone Thompson, the host, or etc. All data and information provided on the site is for informational purposes only. Talk Real Solutions makes no representations as to accuracy, completeness, correctness, suitability, or validity of any information on this site and will not be liable for any errors, omissions, or delays in this information or any losses, injuries, or damages arising from its display or use. All information is provided on an as is basis.
All right, all right. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. This is Talk Real Solutions, and I am your host tonight, Tyrone Thompson. I want to thank you for tuning in. Today is January something, January the 29th, I believe, 2026. God damn. I've been doing this shit for a long time, huh? It's about time for me to hang up the goddamn hat. It's 2026. Jesus Christ. Anyway, welcome to the show. If you want to join the show, all you have to do is call into the number at 1-717-908-1834 and hit the participant code at 624-794, and I'll get to your call, and you can call in and give your opinion. I don't know. I guess requesting that we try to tell the truth don't do no good over here, so I ain't even gonna attempt to suggest that people be honest. That is not going to be a thing that happens on Talk Real Solutions. Cause we had the few that call in and they just I don't know, they just lie. But if you want to call in, I'll open the mic. The world is still crazy. I took today, like I always do, to try to cram in as much relevant, recent information as possible so I can at least talk about a couple of things, because following these politics and ICE killing people and that shit wears on you. You know, whether you know it or not, psychologically, just as a basic human being, you've got to feel something. And if you feel like you closer tied to it, like you really care about this country, then you're even closer tied to it. And if you feel like you feel anything for the victims of this murdering spree that the Trump administration owned, and it wears on you psychologically even more. And the closer you're tied to it, the heavier it weighs on you, and stress will kill you. I know firsthand because, believe it or not, I live a very stressful life, and that stuff makes you sick. You know, it makes you mentally sick. It'll physically mess with you as far as your blood pressure and your weight and all that kind of shit. And then eventually from those things you get sick, you know. So this stress in this country can actually kill somebody if you know, if you concerned a little bit about this mess, because these people are crazy. That's the overall point that I'm trying to make, is that these people don't give a fuck about nobody in this country but themselves. And not having a voice to affect change can really be bothersome, you know. And we don't, you know, I'll sit on this microphone and talk shit hoping that people listen, and then other people on social media do their part by speaking, hoping people listen. And if you have a big enough platform, you probably can amass a movement. But at the rate in which things are going, you won't even have that no more. It was said, this is something that I picked up today. It was said that the Trump administration and his buddies bought TikTok. Let me Google that while I'm on the thing, and because I don't know the details of it. And TikTok was one of those platforms that just raw news was being told, in particular about Gaza. Yeah, here's something that's pulling up. I'll get to that. But TikTok was one of those but Democrats never hold candle light vigils for victims of illegal aliens, in case you haven't noticed. See, it's these motherfuckers. That was Sarge. He said, but Democrats never hold candlelight vigils for the victims of illegal alien, in case you haven't heard. The fuck you talking about? If anybody is hurt in any type of way wrongfully, of course people care. Of course. But if you're talking about the situation in Minnesota, where last week you came on here, this is Sarge I'm talking to, where last week you came on here and said that Renee Good ran over an ICE officer, which is a lie. Or if you're alluding to the recent murder by ICE, then that's a totally different situation, because you have the government, the full weight of the government, murdering American citizens. I hate when you're talking to these idiots and they always try to do a both sides conversation. And if you notice, that's the format that people have conversations in this country right now. If you say something about the Republicans, then you've got to include in your conversation something about the Democrats. If you say something about liberals or whatever, then you got to include in your conversation the other side. That's not normal. That's not normal. But we've been programmed to try to both sides everything. And I'm saying that to say, Sarge, is that there has never been a time under Democrat leadership have the powers in charge amass every level of government, bought in judges, violate the Emoluments Clause, build up a military force, and send them out into the world and have them abuse and murder people. The Democrat, you can't have a both sides conversation whenever you're talking about this authoritarian dictator in the White House, this fascist regime, and the way it's ruling over America. You can't have a both-sided conversation whenever it comes to the Trump administration. There is no both sides. Trump is a fascist, a racist, wants to be a dictator, and he has idiots like you out here carrying his goddamn water. What's up, East Coast? But back to TikTok. Donald, and that's another thing. All the media outlets are getting bought up by Donald Trump. I'm typing now. Y'all know me. I don't have this shit ready. Okay, so that's another thing, this is just a quick glimpse of what I was getting ready to say here. You know it's fascism, and you know it's a dictator, because it is. It says major media outlet platforms increasingly being purchased and controlled by billionaires and corporations aligned with a specific political ideology, which is the right, aiming to influence public opinion and gain political power. The recent trends show significant consolidation of media, including Twitter, which was bought by Elon Musk, newspapers, local news, by the owners of conservatives with conservative agendas. The conservative acquisition of Elon Musk purchased Twitter, and the subsequent shift in its bias, along with Rupert Murdoch, controlled the New York Post and the Wall Street Journal, exemplify this trend. And David Ellison recently purchased Paramount, the owner of CBS, and there's reports of David Ellison trying to buy CNN. And I think I wanted to bring this up is because I think David Ellison was involved when they just purchased TikTok. I think he was. Oh. As of January the 26th, this just happened. David Ellison and the CEO of Paramount, Skydance, bringing a tech-focused vision to the media company. His father, Larry Ellison, recently finalized a deal to secure controlling stakes in TikTok. So it wasn't David Ellison, it was his daddy. Anyway, all of these right billionaires are buying up all the media companies so they can control shit like ABC was taking in when he got told to take these horse pills. There's going to be no check on media once they control all the media. And I can sit up here and yell all day long, which they're not going to be convinced because it's going to look like legitimate media outlets are putting out this bullshit. So I don't know. As far as media concerned, we kind of fucked. I don't know what else to say about that. You know, they're not going to be able to silence individuals, but we don't matter. You know, the big companies matter. The NBCs, the CBSs, Fox and CNN, those companies matter. Those companies' headlines reach millions of people. So you can see that there is a effort for the right-wing oligarchs to buy up the media companies. And recently, when they just bought TikTok, that kind of threw me out off the loop. But I didn't have to hear no more because I immediately went in my phone and uninstalled that app, because the way they bought TikTok is if you open it up and it asks you to click on that agreement, because I opened it up and it asked me to click on the agreement. And what that agreement says in part is that they're going to collect your data. They want to know what your political affiliation is, and a whole lot more intrusive information now that TikTok has been taken over. And I'm not dealing with that. I'm just not. And furthermore, there's a lot of business owners on TikTok that has lost money because what TikTok has done immediately is I've seen some people saying that if they search terms like Epstein, then their accounts will get flagged and they will get strikes and all this kind of stuff. So those are those kind of big creators that were talking about political stuff that is not going to get paid because of the new ownership. And that type of news is getting censored because people in this country has used social media. It's not all good, some is bad, but they have used social media in a positive way to educate everybody else. You can't take it all in. You got to know what to consume and what not to consume. But you got to take the good with the bad when it comes to social media, because idiots like Sarge don't know how to discern and figure out what is legit and what is not legit. But if you take somebody like myself, I got a good example. Last week, like I said, I did a every week I do like a dump of what is recent so I can come on here and talk. Last week I said that the Enriqueo Interior was ice, right? So I obviously got that off of social media. But while I was on here, on the line, I said, let me check this out, because I know that I got this shit half-ass news. And when I got online and researched it, it was false. You know, and you just got to be wise enough. When I repeated that, I think I corrected myself last week. You got to be wise enough to actually dig through the bullshit and not just accept the first headline that you see or the first video title that you see because it's in your favor or it's something that you agree with. You can't accept it offhand, you know. But that's the least of the problems with the overtake of these media outlets now, because everything gonna be fucked up, everything. So these people that are slow, like ABC. Oh, ABC, you did not uninstall TikTok. ABC said that he uninstalled TikTok. Nigga, that should be your paradise now. You know, this stuff started happening when Mark Zuckerberg started playing politics with his platform, Facebook. And then Elon Musk bought X. And then now you got these guys buying, the Ellisons buying TikTok. So it's just going to be a right-wing agenda with the media in this country, and it's going to get worse. I mean, there's hopes that things will get better, but no, these people are systematically ripping down the systems in this country so they can prepare for something. What that is, I don't know. I know the core of their plan is to have a bunch of dummies like Sarge to run around and sit in my chat room and say dumb shit. That's the core of their plan, for them to have their little soldiers to be out here typing on Twitter or responding to the killings in Minnesota, or you know, they even Ilhan Omar. I know I'm jumping all over the place. Ilhan Omar got attacked this week in Minnesota, and we seen the attack on video. And the mindset that I'm talking about, people immediately, Donald Trump himself immediately said that attack was staged. So you had people that follow Donald Trump on social media talking about it was staged, she planned it, and all this kind of stuff. But if you do the backgrounds in the guy that attacked her, he's an avid Donald Trump MAGA supporter. He has a whole history of speaking like Sarge and acting MAGA. So, but because Donald Trump said it was staged, you got idiots like Sarge that came out here yelling it was staged. Just like Sarge said last week that Renee Good ran over a fucking police officer. You know, the fact that they're taking over all of these media outlets, this country is going to be fucked. It's already fucked, but it's going to be triple and quadruple fucked as far as trying to socialize with anybody with goddamn common sense. What's up, East Coast and Sarge and ABC? I think I spoke to y'all before, but yeah, this country gonna be fucked with all these media outlet takeovers. It ain't shit you can do. There ain't a damn thing you can do because ICE is off the damn chain. Out there in Minnesota where it killed I don't want to get his name wrong. Alex Preti. Alex Preti. They look like an Italian name. But out there where they killed Alex Preti, that was a murder. That was a homicide. I don't know the difference in the two. But I seen a murder. I seen a person get murdered by the state, by the government. And after that murder, that good woman, that was a murder. Everybody could see that. But this was a clear murder. If you look at the video, you can see that the guy was helping a lady that ICE had abused and pushed down. And in the process of him helping that lady back up on her feet, ICE ran up behind him and grabbed him and then immediately sprayed pepper spray in his face. And then when the rest of ICE seen that commotion going on, they went over and jumped on the man, bringing him to his knees. And while he was bent over, I guess they could see that he had a legally owned, concealed carry, holstered weapon on his person. And one of the Gestapo, while ICE was beating him up, pulled his weapon out of his holster and ran away from what was going on. And less than a second later, when that ICE person ran away and disarmed this individual, ICE stood there, execution style, and shot, I think it was 2 ICE officers, and shot several rounds into an unarmed American. See, that kind of shit right there would fuck with anybody. And that's not the only person that ICE killed. Of course, they killed migrants. And then there was a black guy, I had to Google his name last week, and I'm sorry, sir. Because they're not talking about Keith Porter. That was his name. Renee Good and Alex Petty. And someone said this month alone, including those 3, ICE has killed 9 other, 5, 7, what is it? I can't do my math right now. 6 other people. ICE had killed 6 other people besides these 3. But I think there was migrants, and I don't have all of their names. And I'm pretty sure if you did a Google search, you would see all the people that ICE killed. There is no need for ICE. There is no need to militarize anyone to patrol the streets of the United States of America. This is the first time in history that we've seen this type of militarization on the streets of America during a time of peace. Now, you may have had military in America, I don't know, way before I remember, because of conflicts or civil unrest or whatever. You may have had military on the streets during that time. I know during the Jim Crow era and all of that kind of bullshit, of course you had militarized troops in the streets because white people are racist. And the enemy was black people. And of course you had to take out the dogs and the fire hoses and whatever for black people in this country, who was most likely just seeking justice or equality. So they turned the military on its own civilians. But in this era, there was no uprising. There was people in this country abiding by the law, practicing their First Amendment to protest the government for redress, I believe that's what that says. And ICE inserts itself into those constitutionally protected activities, causes conflict, and then they murder people. Every incident that ICE is involved in, the people were not violating any law. If somebody's telling you otherwise, then they're lying and they're discounting the fact that we have a right to protest in this country. So none of the people that you see on camera holding signs and chanting are violating the Constitution, violating laws. None of them. And here's the First Amendment. Congress shall make no laws respecting the establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, which is part of protest, the chanting and everything, or the press, which is why you see cameras out there and people reporting on it because it's legal, or the right for of the people to peacefully to assemble and petition the government for a redress of grievances. Those people that you see ICE attacking are well within their rights to be where they're at, doing what they're doing, chanting what they're chanting, and holding up signs that say whatever the fuck they wanted to say, because you have freedom of speech. But now we got an administration that don't give a damn about this Constitution. I spoke on this years ago. If somebody got in charge that didn't give a fuck about that Constitution, and look where we at. we got somebody that's in charge that is lawless, and he don't give a fuck about this Constitution, and he's running the country not knowing what the fuck he's doing. And because he's the most powerful man in the country, soon as he says screw the Constitution, his underlings, his minions, his followers, people like Sarge and ABC is going to say screw the Constitution. That is a fact. I guarantee you, Sarge will call Alex Petty a domestic terrorist, and he deserved what he got. Sarge will come up with some type of excuse saying that Alex Petty was interfering with official business, and that's the reason that he got shot. Sarge is going to come up and say Alex Petty should have been doing A, B, or C, and he should have been somewhere else, and that's the reason he got shot. When, if you read the goddamn First Amendment, Alex Petty was doing exactly what this goddamn country say we are allowed to do. He was carrying a privately owned weapon. That's under your Second Amendment, which has been misconstrued. But I'm going to go with their interpretation of the Second Amendment. Okay? I'm going to go with their interpretation of the Second Amendment. Let me pull it up. Because this man did not break any laws. Oh, Lord. I probably could have just typed it in that browser. I'm going to read it, but I know that the Second Amendment has been misinterpreted, and I'm just giving this disclaimer because these people are misinterpreted this fucking sentence. It says a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Now, I'm not going to get into my interpretation, but I'm going to get into the interpretation that white racists and people like Sarge use when it comes to the Second Amendment. And Alex Petty, or whatever his name is, was well within his rights to have a holstered weapon, a concealed carried holstered weapon at a protest. He was well within his rights to have that weapon and concealed. He was well within his rights to voice his opinion against the government peacefully. Now, peacefully protesting doesn't mean that you've got to say things softly. Peacefully don't mean that you cannot yell. Peacefully don't mean that you cannot curse and say obscenities. Peacefully don't mean any of that, because if you look at the First Amendment, the freedom of speech gives you the right to say whatever the fuck you want to say, how you want to say it. Protesting. Now, there is caveats when it comes to those things, because you have local ordinances and all that kind of stuff saying that you might be disturbing the peace or violating the noise ordinance or whatever, you know. And normally if that's the case, the protesters already know where they can and cannot protest. That's why they're there. You know, you can't enact those ordinances on the spot and say you're violating the noise ordinance and when there ain't no noise ordinance, right? And if the people are assembling on federal places publicly, you pretty much can protest because there's no law keeping you off of federal buildings. There's no law keeping you off of public property. That's why it's called fucking public. You know, unless it's a military installation, I don't know, police stations got some type of rules or restricted areas. Some federal building got restricted area, but those restricted areas will be posted with authorized personnel and all that kind of shit. All them other public places, as an American citizen, you got a right to be in those spaces. Alex Petty didn't do anything illegal. And I'm actually interested in hearing Sarge's opinion about what happened to Alex Petty, because I don't know what he's going to say. I just assumed that he would say those things. I just want to hear what the hell he say and his justification. I don't know what that part of MAGA justification for the murder of Alex Petty is going to be. But Kristi Noem immediately came out and called him a terrorist. Stephen Miller immediately came out and called him a domestic terrorist. I done got his damn name wrong again. What's his name? I was trying to find out the quotes that Noam said. It don't matter. You know I'm not lying about it. They immediately came out and called him a domestic terrorist. Oh, well, here's a CNN article that might be saying what I'm looking for. It says what Trump officials claimed about Alex Petit. I guess that's his name. And then it goes down here to say Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem claimed that Petit attacked officers, which is a lie. An assertion echoed by the FBI director, Kash Patel. He was lying. But there is no footage available as of Sunday afternoon showing that Alex Petit was committing any attack. Noem claimed that Petit was brandishing a gun. That was a lie. We seen the ICE agent pull it from his holster. But no available footage show him even holding a weapon in his hand at the scene. A concealed gun appeared to be taken from his waistband by the federal agents. That's what I discussed a while ago. The White House Deputy Chief of Staff, Stephen Miller, referred to him as an assassin who tried to murder federal agents. If I was this guy's family, you see how my girls from Georgia did? I can't even think of their name. Let me see that lawsuit with Giuliani. These people got a case. I think these people got a case. I think they can, if with the right lawyer. I can't think of them two black women named that beat Giuliani by saying that they was stole the election by stuffing ballots in a suitcase under a table and all that kind of stuff. But this is my thing right here, is that if these federal government, Stephen Miller calling him assassin and said that he tried to murder federal agents, Kristi Noem calling him a domestic terrorist, Well, here's what Stephen Miller said. Stephen Miller referred to Pratik as an assassin who tried to murder federal agents. Vice President J.D. Vance reposted the claims, and Border Patrol Commander Gregory Bovino and the Department of Homeland Security in a social media video posted, it looks like Pretty wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement, but nobody has shown any evidence of Pretty sought to kill anyone, let alone perpetrate a massacre. Patel suggested that Pretty broke the law by carrying concealed gun to a protest, but the Minneapolis police chief said he had a permit to carry the gun and was allowed to have it on him. That's common sense. But so look, listen. Kash Patel, there's so much going on in that little bit of shit that I just read. Kash Patel just suggested that this man did not have a Second Amendment right by carrying a concealed weapon to a protest. He said that Petty broke the law by carrying a concealed. This is the FBI director. Don't know the laws from a hole in the goddamn ground. Kash Patel said the man didn't have a right to carry a concealed weapon to a protest. That's a lie. These are the amateurs that we got running this goddamn country. And Stephen Miller called him a assassin and accused him of trying to murder federal agents. I'm telling you, these people need to get some type of legal goddamn help right now and start their goddamn case against the government of the United States of America. And it probably won't happen while Donald Trump's in office, but at least everything will be lined up for when Donald Trump get out of office. Those people can drop this goddamn lawsuit against the federal government for defaming their fucking murdered son or family member by the federal government. Because you just can't say these things. I thought we learned with the Dominion lawsuit that Fox lost for a gajillion dollars that you just can't say anything and defame people. But that doesn't matter to the Trump administration. They did the same thing with Renee Good. And they just say whatever the hell they want to say. I don't even know where the hell I was at. Okay, so that's what we got going on with ICE. We got the takeover of TikTok. We got Ilhan Omar getting attacked by a Trump supporter. And then this is what I heard. I haven't seen the news on it yet, but I heard somebody say that ICE detained a 5-year-old. So I'm going to Google that. This is crazy. Well, here's the follow-up story from CNN. And it's actually, it looked like it's legitimate. Detained 5-year-old immigrant is depressed and lethargic, Texas congressman says, in demanding the boy's release. What the fuck? The 5-year-old boy, who his father was taken last week by immigration agents from their home in Minneapolis driveway. What the fuck they doing in Texas? Oh, they took him from Minneapolis, and they this is stupid. And now they're in Texas. Appeared to be depressed and lethargic at a South Texas detention facility where the pair is being held, said the congressman concerned for Liam's mental state. These people are sick. This is what the fuck the right voted for. They voted for this inhumane savagery from these white people in charge. They love this. They love this barbaric behavior that is genetically white. Yeah, I can't believe there ain't more people up in arms about that 5-year-old, about Ilhan Omar getting attacked by a Trump supporter. And I don't know if y'all seen that video, but this lady, she was getting ready to jack that dude up. She's a tiny little woman, but she didn't blink her eye when that guy did whatever. Let me see if I can find that video. That lady was getting ready to go right at that motherfucker's skull. I was like, Jesus Christ. I guess you got to, if you're on the other end of threats and all that kind of stuff, you know? I think this video shows it a little. Let's see if this is gonna do it.
Breaking news.
Y'all ain't gonna see no sound. I'm just get to the part and I'm point out where she.
After the shooting of Alex Preddy.
If you look right here, see she getting ready to go right towards the man that is attacking her, and she takes the fuck off towards him. I'm like, what the fuck? She ain't no damn joke. Y'all better leave them damn Somalis alone. Nah, fuck them Somalis. But this lady ain't no damn joke. She was really about that damn life in that moment. And I was like, what the fuck? She was not playing one damn bit.
Alex Preddy,
with this person. I don't know what kind of damage she would have done. But she didn't bat a fucking eye and hit it right towards that fucking man. And got her fist balled up, getting ready to go into goddamn action. I was like, oh shit. Ilhan Omar, Ilhan, whatever her last name is, she better not have. Y'all lucky she didn't have one of them goddamn machetes that the Muslims carry. Is that racist? That might be a little much. But you're lucky she didn't have one of them goddamn machetes, because somebody would have been fucking headless the way she charged after that damn man. But my point is, the environment that is created by Donald Trump and stooges like Sarge and ABC is that these people sit home and they consume all of this bullshit propaganda about people. And if you want to talk about Minnesota, I think somebody else shared it on here that it might have been Mama's Boy, that the investigation into those people in Minnesota had already happened up under the Biden administration, and the people with the fraud, you know, they've already been taken care of, right? But once again, the fucking MAGA is late to the goddamn party and realizing so much money was involved in fraud in Minnesota, and now all of a sudden they want to go to Minnesota and weed out the fraud when the Biden administration already did that. And I think people has been held accountable. I think some people even got kicked out of the country. And then the bigger story is that there was a white lady that was giving direction to these people in Minnesota, helping them out with the fraud. We don't hear about that person, you know. But all Trump got to do is get on the damn stage and say whatever the fuck he got to say, and then you got fucking idiots. Look, Sarge is in the chat room talking about, I'm starting calling Omar Biatch, Jussie Smollett, Somalia. See, this guy's a fucking idiot. That lady had her life in danger, Sarge. One of your crowd physically walked up to her and looked like he had a syringe, and he sprayed something in her direction and she's a congressperson. Because you're so politically tied to the right or Republicans in this country, you're just blinded and ignorant in such a way you don't see how that was wrong. You just don't. I laugh at your jokes and shit, but you are a joke at this point when it comes to having conversations about what's going on in this country politically, because you just repeat talking points which are totally incorrect, and you don't care about American citizens, which is, every time I talk to you, I can't believe that you was a police officer and a soldier and you think this way. But it's one of these things to where I say I can't believe it, but it's happening every day, where these people that was so caring about the country previously, now they don't give a fuck about the country. These patriots, when they was in fear of Democrats being in charge, it was all fear about rights getting taken away, about patriotism and the love for the rule of law and just obey the law and all this kind of bullshit. And now that the right has taken over and is in charge, they don't give a fuck about the Constitution. They don't care about the law. They don't care about people getting unjustly murdered, American citizens, on the streets of America. And you know it's bad when Sarge see a white person get murdered and he don't care. You know, Sarge is supposed to be crying because 2 white people got killed. You know, if it would have been a black person murdering those people, then of course he would have been on here screaming about how he deserves the death penalty and all this kind of bullshit. But now that your political side is committing the murders, you're all in support of murder. You know, it's kind of weird to watch. And another weird thing that happened this week. Now, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I used to like Nicki Minaj. I thought that she was the GOAT. I thought that she ushered in an era of rap that other people emulated. They copied her style. Like Doja Cat. And if you listen to Cardi B, you can tell that, you know, her style is kind of like a different version of Nicki Minaj. And other female rappers that actually, you know, kind of sound like Nicki Minaj, but she's not Nicki Minaj, but they not Nicki Minaj, you know. So I thought Nicki Minaj was a pretty talented rapper and not too involved in politics the way she is now. But as a previous person that would listen to Nicki Minaj in 2026 can go burn in the depths of fucking hell. I don't give a fuck about no goddamn Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj is one of the dumbest motherfuckers on this planet. Fuck Nicki Minaj. Fuck what she stand for. Fuck what she did. There ain't nowhere in the hell her being a black person in America cannot see the racism of this administration. And for her to prance around in front of black America, the people that put her where she is, and kiss the ass of racists. Yeah, I don't have any. She's Kanye West to me. You know, she's a Byron Donald, Tim Scott. This is Nicki Minaj. I don't give a damn what she said or done. You know, even though Chung Lee was all right, but fuck Chung Lee now, because Nicki Minaj is full of shit, and she's up there kissing Donald Trump's ass, and it's incredible how now Sarge and ABC are suddenly Nicki Minaj fans, when ABC did an entire 2-hour show on the conduct of black female rappers when the song WAP came out by Cardi B. I remember ABC taking his time and reading word for word WAP as a show, because he disagreed with that version or that type of music being played or on the radio, or people having access to Cardi B talking about WAP. And if you don't know what WAP means, well, Google it. But ABC just took his time and just read the thing word for word. He even had guests on here talking about how disgusting that song was and all this kind of stuff. And then he would generalize, saying that black women putting out this type of shit, blah, 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 blah. So now what we're going to watch is Sarge and ABC fall in love with Nicki Minaj, because Nicki Minaj sucking up to her master. And Nicki Minaj is the same type of woman that y'all say shouldn't be followed. Nicki Minaj with the breast implants, with the provocative album covers, with the booty enhancements. I mean, now MAGA are Nicki Minaj followers. This is crazy to me. And then Nicki Minaj up there, you know, I wish I would have downloaded that audio. So I'm gonna shut up. I see Elisa press one. So I wish I would have downloaded that audio, because it I don't know, it'll probably fly by the rest of everybody else's head. But in that speech of calling Donald Trump her favorite person or most admired person or whatever, she made a little comment about, you know, about him being a Christian. Now, y'all know what I was on that Christian stuff a long time ago, and I'm still on it, but I just don't speak about it. But the results of me and others like me not speaking about it, it allows people to use Christianity the way Nicki Minaj used Christianity for her support for Donald Trump. And she's a goddamn hypocrite for all the things that I just said about how nasty and vulgar her type of art is, what she says in her records, and then she gonna call herself a Christian but making money off of doing vile and evil shit. And then she gonna call herself a Christian and support a motherfucker that had children on the island doing God knows whatever, allegedly, and talking about grabbing women by the vagina, buried his wife on one of his properties for tax exempt status, stealing from orphanages. She gonna call him a Christian and say the reason that she's supporting him is because of Christianity. This is why that bullshit religion needs to get called out. because it's like you can use it whenever you want to validate all of your stupid ass decisions and not face any goddamn consequences. Because soon as she said that, I guarantee you white Christians and black Christians and Christians on Mars was like, oh, her mind is in the right place. No, this motherfucker full of shit. She betrayed her own community, and I'm saying her community because she was raised in America around black Americans. She's supporting the goddamn racists. And then she want to put a big old Christian bow on it and say, this is why I'm doing this. And in addition to that, Donald Trump is a hypocrite because if his stance or if MAGA's stance is against migrants, right? And they need to leave the country, then it's not really against migrants because I guess Nicki Minaj bought one of those gold cards. Let me see. Because I think she put it on her Instagram or something. Yeah, this is the picture that she put on her Instagram where she bought one of those gold cards, which is residency in the United States of America for $1 million. Then you had to pay I think it was a $1,500 processing fee, and then the $1 million for the gold card. This is her Instagram here. People are giving her hell now. Oh, Jesus Christ. That was funny. I can't find the gold card thing. It's probably down the line. There's a whole bunch of people that have posted after I'll scroll real quick. And it look like she still got some supporters too, this stupid asses. But my point about the gold card, right? If ICE is in Minneapolis and you're deploying ICE all throughout the insides of the country looking for fucking migrants, illegal migrants. Nicki Minaj didn't come quote unquote legal until she paid for her goddamn gold card. Right? So now that she has the ability to spend $1 million to stay here, that is totally unfair for the rest of these migrants. This is why Donald Trump is wrong for selling citizenship. It shouldn't be about the rich. And now the poor migrants that can't pay, I guarantee you, if every one of them damn migrants that they got in these damn concentration camps had $1 million, they would give it to Donald Trump and they would become citizens. But they don't have that. We're talking about 5-year-olds getting detained and all that kind of bullshit because they don't have $1 million. Nicki Minaj full of shit because the ICE raids are against people just like her dumb ass before she spent her goddamn $1 million. This shit is immoral and it's wrong, and I'm gonna shut the hell up because I know I've been talking for a while. All right, so guys, if y'all want to call in, just call the number at 1-717-908-1834, and I'll get you on the line. And you know me, I'll let you talk if you want to call in. But Miss Elisa, welcome to the show. How you doing tonight? Did I get you?
Yeah, I'm doing. I was on mute. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm doing okay. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. Just running my mouth.
No, that's okay. I heard you talk about Nicki Minaj. No, she claims that he gave her the gold residency card. She said he
Okay,
gave it to
so
her.
let me pause you there. Who
Uh
we talk?
huh.
We talking about Trump, ain't we? You think that he gave away $1 million?
Well, he wouldn't have given anything. He could just give her the card.
Well, the
So it's
card
not
is
that
the
he
card is
gave
worth a
her.
million dollars though.
Yeah, it's worth it. That's what you have to pay for it. And she had to pay. That's what she claimed. And you know what? I think he gave it to her. And she had to pay the 15, some type of processing fee of 15,000 or whatever. That part is for. He very well may have given it her. But my thing is that you throw away your career for for a residency card, and what it does, I think it's supposed to be fast track if you want citizenship. She should have $1 million. I'm gonna assume she has $1 million. So some people thinking that she was doing it for just this. No, she should have $1 million that she could just buy the card and try to do it on the down low. It would get out anyway, but better than this. Because, like a lot of people were saying, if we're able to get a handle on things here in this country, and they're able to, the House and stuff to take over, back over during the midterms, that needs to be the first thing they need to get rid of. That buying your way in that $1 million residency card, then all of that will go away. Then what? That's one of the first things they need to do away with.
Yep.
Because the corruption is just off the chain. They need to do away with that. Um, quickly. Congress could do away with that quickly. And everyone who bought the cars and who has all of that just goes away with that. But I don't, whatever this is she's doing, you know. But like you would talk about the other rap girlies like Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, let's just say Gorilla,
Yeah,
Ice
yeah.
Spice, and whoever else are out there. They all seem to have jumped on the Harris train. I think a lot of it has to do with that because she can't stand. Well, Nicki Minaj has bullied and just full with everybody, not just the rap girlies. Well, some of the things like her, Mariah Carey, and different other people. I can think of the singer that was on tour with Kendrick Lamar. I can think of her name right now. Some other people that
Saza, scissor.
huh? SZA, yeah, and some others that's just singers. Anybody that's like doing their thing, getting a lot of notoriety, and like this thing seem to be. She just I don't know. She's a lot of things wrong with her. A lot of jealousy, and that everybody should bow down to her. But the thing is, all of those girls, like if people were to run all of them down and talk about their lyrics and their music, it's not for me, But if the girlies want to do the same old ratchet ass stuff that the guys do, I say more power to them. That's their business. I'm not into that type of music. But those are her daughters. All of them are very young. And Nicki Minaj is in her 40s. And she acts like, I don't know, something's wrong with her. And I know, like, a lot of people were saying, well, why didn't her husband uh, go with her, to the White House and, her army? He's supposed to be her husband. And that's what that whole clan is about, supposed to be family values and stuff. But aren't there laws where felons aren't supposed to be cajoling around with other felons? Aren't there laws? Uh,
I'm pretty sure there is.
I think it's laws that they can't be just cajoling and kicking it around with other felons and stuff like that. So that's one of the reasons why they probably can't go. Some people saying maybe she's trying to get pardoned for her husband, maybe on the state level when he didn't. He was supposed to report in to, because he's on the list. What do you call that? The sex offenders list. And I think that I don't know if that was a state. I know he was prosecuted, spent time in prison for sexual assault and for murder. And I'm not sure that whole thing. I think that might have was federal when he didn't report when he moved to California after they became a couple. He was supposed to report in so he could get on the California sexual registry, and he didn't, and he was prosecuted for that. I don't know if that was state or federal, but and he can't give a pardon to her brother, who's in prison right now, currently serving I think 25 years for child sexual assault. I think that child is 12, his
Wow.
stepdaughter. So he can't really do anything to pardon them for their sexual assaults, child sexual assaults, and murder. So he can't really do anything about that because those is all on the state level. Um, it's something more than just that. It's something more than just getting citizenship. It has to be something more than that because she should have got all that stuff rectified. She's
Well,
been here because
I
she should
agree
have
with
got.
you. I agree with you that there's a lot of people out there saying that Nicki Minaj got some type of agenda going, and I get it. Her
She
brother,
does.
her husband, and all that. I get all of that, but on its face, she's a grown ass 40-year-old woman that has somewhat history of what America is about because she was raised in New York, and she
Yeah,
know what the fuck Donald Trump is. She know what a racist is
yeah.
because she spoke on it before. I think she spoke against Donald Trump before. So she know what she's doing. So all of that stuff with her agenda, I know you're not excusing her, but I don't give her no credit for her actions now. She's
No,
full of
I don't
shit.
give her any credit. A lot of it just don't make no sense. It could be something just as simple as she hates the other girlies, so I'm just gonna go so far to the other side. I don't know what the angle is. I don't care what the angle is. She chose what she's gonna do, and people just should not support her. Because the thing is, people who have supported Orange, uh, he's throwing all of them under the bus. He throw you under the bus in a minute. He's not loyal. So I really don't understand what this is about. Because I think it's all a lie. Because Nicki Minaj can barely put a full sentence together. She's not politically astute. She's not the smartest person. And she's very measured when she talks. I'm here
Mm-hmm.
like she's choosing everywhere to support the greatest. I mean, she's not the smartest person. I don't know if she's trying to take a jab. I really don't know what it is that she's trying to get. Because she must have $1 million. That she could have just bought the card on the download. They'll take your money. Because all of that is all scam anyway. They will take your money. She could have did that on the download, and once people found out that she did, she could just say, "I'm trying to get my citizenship on," and don't say another word. So I don't know what this is, but she's married to a a sexual assaulter, a murderer, a convicted. So I'm not gonna have to say allegedly. She's married to someone who was convicted of sexual assault and murder, and her brother was convicted of child sexual assault. This is all on the record. They were convicted of these things, so you don't have to say allegedly. And so maybe this is her crowd. Maybe this might be her crowd. Because if Orange is a PPP protector, that's what she is. So this might be her crowd. But the immigrant thing I don't get because she said herself, they have pulled up all the things that she said. She came to the United States at 5 years old illegally. Now must have gotten residency or something over the years. But these things she could have gotten her residency, she could have got dual citizenship, Where is she from? What is she? Not Trinidad. Is she Trinidadian or what's the other one? No, she's
Haiti, Haitian. No, I think she's from
no.
Trinidad, ain't she?
She might it might be Trinidadian or the other one. I get her and Rihanna mixed up. Hold on.
Uh,
I'm
Rihanna
looking
look
it up
Haitian.
right now. Nicki Minaj. Country. I always get her and Rihanna thing. They might be the same country. Trinidadian. It is Trinidadian. I think Rihanna's from Trinidad too. Let me see. No. Let me see. H.A. Rihanna. Let me see. She's Trinidadian too. Country. Yeah, Rihanna is from Barbados.
Okay.
She's Barbadian. I get them mixed up. The countries mixed up all the time. But I don't know what it's about. But they might. If this has nothing to do with religion and being Christian, because true people, all the churches and most of the churches has turned against them and publicly speaking against them. So this is not about religion. These might be her type of people because look at who she keeps company with. Look at her husband. And as far as it relates to her brother, she didn't, I mean, she chose to marry that man. Her brother did those things. Uh, so she didn't do them. And I can see, like, if I don't even like to say this, but like if I had a brother who did the things that her brother did, his 12-year-old stepdaughter, constantly molesting that child, uh, I would not publicly support him. Now, what I would do, if I had a bunch of money, I would hire him a good lawyer to help defend him through all of this and to help get him in, once he gets convicted, to get him in a prison that he can get some serious psychoanalysis to help him with whatever the hell is wrong with him. That is one of a prison I would want the lawyer to help get him in, something that can work on his head. But I would not be publicly paying up to people who her stepdaughter or his stepdaughter them that she's lying and that they had all of that. They had all, and they didn't have circumstantial evidence. They found proof of his, pardon my language, pardon my to say, his semen in the child's bed and underwear.
Mm.
I would hire a lawyer to help get him in, once he's convicted, to get him in a prison that has, because certain prisons, they have different things like that. Certain ones, they have more that, certain prisons that deal with people who are pedophiles, sex offenders and stuff, where you can get round the clock therapy while you in there for 25, 30 years. I would do that for my brother. Probably not gonna work because they say those people are like that. But I would do that. I would want him in a prison that's gonna try to work on his head. Because if he get out in 25, 30 years, you don't want him to do those things again. That is the only help that I would give him. I would do that if I was a rich person. But I mean, you married a man who was convicted of sexual assault and murder.
Yeah, that's what I was just reading. I mean, that man done did some crap.
Yeah. And I knew about he was convicted of sexual assault. He served time in prison. But then when people was like, well, he's a murderer too. And I found this out like year and a half ago. And I looked it up. I said, he sure was convicted of murder, served, I think, 8, 9 years or whatever it is for murder. They may have knocked it down to manslaughter, but he murdered someone.
Yeah, it said that he got sentenced 10 years, but he served 7 years and got released in 2013.
And you marry that when you're rich and you can have your choice of any person, that speaks to whom you are. And look at what she's doing. And then they were out here. They have a lawsuit right now. I don't know. I think she might have was dropped or still involved. But they were intimidating the woman who he sexually assaulted And the same thing with his stepdaughter, calling her all types of liars and stuff like that. There's no way. I'm sure I would not stand behind. I would marry no man like that. But like if that were my brother, sometimes you have family members that do things. I would not publicly say a word about that. I would just hire a good lawyer to get him in a prison that could work on his head. That would be the most that I would do. I would hire a lawyer, just make sure that once he's convicted, to get him someplace. But
Let me let me see who's.
that might be who she is, Tyrone.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I mean, you can't help it nowadays. These people are who they are, and there's no forgiving the way she's at. There's no turning back from this for me anyway. You know.
No, no. I did got off that Nicki Minaj. I was never really into. I like the beats in the trap. I like. Now I would tell the truth on that. I like beats in the trap. When that was
Well, yeah,
out.
she made
That's
some
the
good
song.
music. Now, I ain't gonna lie,
Yeah,
but
that
I don't
song
give a
was
damn
it was
about none of her music right now. I will not never listen to another Nicki Minaj
nah.
song. Who's
I
this
mean, but
unknown caller?
that was. Go ahead.
This is Miss Lady. Hi.
What's up, Miss
Hey, do
Milady?
you know
Hey, Miss
hey,
Lady.
hey, do you know if her brother's a citizen? Is he from the same place she's from?
Yeah, he's in Barbados. He's probably not a citizen. He may have gotten residency after she. There's some type of residency after she was here, but they both came. She said it. They came here illegally when they were children. Their mother brought them here illegally as children.
Well,
But
they
it don't matter
deported
what.
so many other folks. How come they haven't deported him back?
Well, he in prison. I guess he'll
Oh,
serve his
he's still in
time.
prison. Oh, I see.
Yeah, he gonna be in prison for like
Oh,
25 years. So when he get out, then they can deport him. Then he's in prison.
so it sounds like he's not your dream boat.
Mm-mm.
Ooh, Lord. Yeah. Well, I guess it's interesting. After all these years, she hasn't gotten a U.S. citizenship. I don't understand that.
I don't
Um,
either.
I don't get it. Um, when I saw her on um, was it the Grammys or whatever it was some years ago, doing that horrible ritual where there was some man dressed up like the Pope. It was demonic. I was through. I didn't really care for her music, to be honest, but I listened to a couple little tunes sometime. But
Yeah.
after that, I was done. Remember that ritual she did? They called it the Illuminati ritual. It was horrible.
Yeah, I
It
remember
was
that.
horrible. I was through with her.
Well, her and
It
Trump are
was
Christians
bad.
now.
They Christians, now she ain't no Christian, and she's supposed to have music of what people were saying. She's supposed to have music coming out. I don't know, sometime this year. So I guess we'll get our first Family Christian album, Family Values and Tread Wife album from Nicki Minaj. Because I mean, y'all expect her to be out here with ice bees in the trap, bees in the trap. You can't expect her to be out here with that. So it has to be a Christian ideals and trad wife. Because how you gonna come out talking about how juicy you are and how you can take an anaconda and all that kind of stuff? You have to be trad wife now.
And she's had
Married
so
to a
much
murderer.
plastic surgery and those big fake implants put in her booty and all that foolishness. Mm-mm.
And a big old BBL. And you talk about, well, I mean, anybody could be a Christian. I'm not gonna say she might be a Christian, a backslide Christian, but this is not about Christianity. I don't know what it's about. I really don't much care because I've been through with her some time ago. After I saw how she was conducting herself with all the young girls that were coming out, trying to get their rap career up off the ground. And she just turned on it. She just wants to be. There's something wrong with her.
Yeah, and she's
And then
attacking
now,
Cardi B, right? There's some kind of issue with Cardi B.
Yeah, they've
oh,
been
they've been
Because
beefing.
Cardi
beefing.
B,
Yeah, they've been beefing for
she
years.
doesn't bother anybody, you know. She's her own person. She's gonna be who she is, and something about her is likable, you know, because I think she's
It is.
she's a
It is.
genuine. You know, she don't seem pretentious, and you know, but when she was, remember they were saying Cardi B for president. She was out talking about how the lettuce cost too damn much. She went to the store a few years ago, and she was talking about the economy and all of that stuff.
She's a
but
she's a
she is
likable little
likable.
somebody.
She
Hmm.
is. She is. But I don't know
I'm not
why.
into her music. I'm not into her music, but she's a
Oh, yeah, me
likable
neither.
stuff.
There was that one tune. Remember that came out some years ago? It had a good beat, and I forget even what it was, you know. But yeah, remember at the Super Bowl when the owner he came on stage or something, and was he dancing to Cardi B or with Cardi B? I can't remember. It
This
was something
Bodak,
funny.
Bodak Yellow or whatever, Bodak something or other.
Well,
His
Cardi
little
B got in
Yeah,
song.
trouble.
Kodak Black.
Cardi B got in trouble with a lot of people for making WAP with her and Megan Thee
Yeah,
Stallion.
Oh, WAP,
yeah,
WAP, WAP,
WAP. Yeah,
WAP.
WAP. It's WAP. WAP. So I don't listen to the music. I'm not into Megan Thee Stallion music.
Me neither.
Glorilla.
Mm-mm.
And what's the other little girl?
Oh, Sexy
Ice
Red.
Spice. Oh, the other ones I like their little personalities, but Sexy Red, that's just garbage to me. I think that was just something they put out there, and she kind of just falling off. It was just very niche, very trash for the
Very
time being, and
trash. It was
I
gutter
think she was
trash.
falling off. It was extreme gutter trash. But the rest of them, Meg and Cardi and Ice Spice and Glorilla, you know, they music is racy and it's a bit much. But you know, they have cute little personalities.
Yeah, yeah. Whatever happened to that one the baby was with and he put her out right after she had his baby? Remember? She was trying to be a singer rapper. What was her name? She
I
kind of
don't know, but
fell off.
she did the little song, Yellow Bone is what he wants. Yellow Bone. Her that little
Oh
girl, I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah. That was terrible. That was
Yeah,
awful.
I don't remember. I don't follow any of them. I've heard of them, but I mean they do their little things, but
They just think, see, anything. It doesn't make
they say,
any
but
sense.
it does the Sexy Red. That to me that was just. I always looked at her as
Disgusting.
below
My
them.
booty's
She was
brown
below
or
them.
something. Yeah, something.
Uh,
Oh Lord. And
and
all
talking
facts was
about
taken up for her. He was
who
taken
Sexy
up for
Red,
her.
talking
Uh-huh.
the
I will
nasty
never
stuff that had
forget.
out lip glosses and colognes, talking about women private parts and just different things, and hers was just pure gutter trash. That Sexy Red. The rest of them, they're overly sacked and their music, but they're not as gutter as Sexy Red. So I would
No,
say
and
that.
he was attacking me because I like Jay Park, and Jay Park can be a little racy, right? And
Mhm.
they were trying to equate Jay Park with Sexy Red. I said there's a huge difference.
There's a big difference between all of them and Sexy Red. There's a big difference between them.
Where
Sexy
she
Red
come
is
from? Where? And
I
there's
don't know. I
nothing
think she's
sexy
falling
about her.
off.
A
No,
lot
I
of
think a
time, like
lot of
her
that.
and Ice Spice, what they do is they get on Instagram or one of these social media, and then they'll make music, and then gets popular that way. That's the way they
That's
get
what it
popular.
was. Okay.
Oh,
I think she's falling off a great deal. I hope so. She had her little
me
moment,
too.
and but some of the other girlies, they racy. They are overly sexed. But that one was just pure gutter trash. It was just she wasn't. I'm not gonna call her that. But what they had her doing was just pure gutter trash. the more colognes and lipsticks and the stuff they was, I mean, calling it like a certain lip glosses, calling it discharge, and it was just
Oh
pure.
no.
It's just
Oh my
it's just
God.
nasty, just
It's like,
nastiness.
don't you have family? I mean, how embarrassing. You know, there's some that they have their voices are really light. They cute, they can dance, but their vocals are not strong. But
Not good.
one is Tina Shay, and then there's one from England. She's Ethiopian, and she used
Who?
to date Robert
Pink
Patterson.
Pantheress?
Huh?
Pink Pantheress?
Pink Pantheress.
Yeah, that's another singer out there. I think she's from the
Oh,
UK.
no, this one she's really a dancer. She's unique. She got her own unique kind of way she dances and sings and entertains and does music videos. I can see her face. Her voice is so soft and she kind of warbles a little bit when she sings, real soft. I can see, oh God, she had this one video. I ain't gonna lie, the girl is bad. She came out with it called, what was it called? Oh, she was like on a stripper pole, but it was nothing like, uh, lewd or anything. She's a real dancer, real strong. She's small, very shapely. SKA Twigs. SKA Twigs. You should check her out. It was called, oh, what was the name of that dude? FKA Twigs was bad. They had broken up after she was attacked by those jealous white European women over there because she and Robert Patterson were in a strong relationship, and he's trying to get started with his, and he's starting to blow up, and then she's half black, and she was attacked so much consistently, they ended up breaking up, and it was very painful for her. And she made this song, and I know that's what it was about. Oh gosh, well, anyway, if you Google search her SKA Twigs, and what was the name of that video, that song? It'll come to me, but she was bad. She is
Mm.
strong. She's very sensuous, but not lewd at all. And very creative. She's one of those creatives. You know how Kanye West used to be a creative before he went crazy?
Yeah.
She's
Mhm.
a creative. Um,
And Dochi is a creative, but she's not one of them overly chic. Dochi is a creative. She's good. And Doja Cat, and I had to look up some
oh
of these
yeah, is
girls.
Doja Cat pretty good? I
Doja Cat,
think I
Doja Cat, yeah, and she can dance. She can dance, so she's pretty good. Yeah, that
A
might be who
long
you.
time ago, Doja Cat got in trouble for saying stuff against black people. She
Mhm.
was on a live
where's she from?
with a bunch of white men, and she was just talking trash about black people or something.
Talking about.
But
I think she's South
music,
African,
her music sounds good though.
and she can dance. And
Didn't she shave her
and then,
head and something, or she was looking weird at one time?
yeah, she did. But then you take like Doechii that won a Grammy last year, but she's not overly sexed or anything like that. She's a real creative.
Yeah,
I don't
she's
listen to her
talented.
music, but yeah, she's talented. Doechii, she's talented. And Lotto, I can't tell you nothing. Most of these girls got out. I can't because I don't listen to it. But Lotto, I guess she's like, and there was one that cannot dance, and I forget her name. She can't perform. She can't dance. She's real pretty. Oh God, so I was to say her name because she's she's not really. I think she has really uh fallen off. Y'all would know female rapper women that can't perform. What's her name? I don't know why I can't. And people may. I think she's really fallen off. Not even somebody. I can't think of her name. Rapper. Her cousin is the pretty black woman that's married to the football player, and they have the trans. Fan- Gabrielle, let me see.
Oh, you mean Gabrielle Union?
Gabrielle Union. Union.
She's an
Hudson.
actress.
Yeah, Gabrielle Union is an actress. Saweetie. You familiar with Saweetie? That's
Oh,
Gabrielle
so we
Union's
need.
cousin.
Oh,
Yes,
is
Saweetie is
she?
her. Yeah, that's Gabrielle
Oh,
Union's cousin. She has fallen off because she's not a good performer. She can't dance. She can't. She's not a good performer. People make such jokes about her performing, and she said she was going to do some more training and things like that. But she's a pretty girl. She just needs
yeah,
to
but if
be
you
an
can't
influencer.
perform, she better, and
Can't
I'm sure
perform.
she's had lessons. Well, that
And
SKA Twigs music video is called Cellophane. Check it out. She's very talented. Oh, she is strong. She is very shapely and very creative. Um, you know who can sing and dance, and I don't know why they haven't blown up more is Normani.
yeah,
Normani is very good.
but she can't seem to she can't seem to get nothing like really going.
You know what? I think sometimes those people won't just bow down and do what a lot of them other ones do, okay? And so they're not going to blow up. Just like Maya, she was real talented and she walked away and she does her own thing because she wasn't gonna, as they say, sacrifice herself to blow up. Nope.
She was talented, couldn't seem to because she's from my area. My niece used to go to her dance studio.
You know, I
Um,
follow her YouTube channel, Maya, and she still make music videos. But like you said, she didn't blow up, and it may because
she couldn't
you,
get
one
anything going.
well at one point they were talking about why she won't married and why she couldn't get a man and all that kind of stuff. But I think it's she got standards. I don't know because she's
That's what
talented.
it is. She has standards, and she's not going to bow down to that industry and do
Yeah,
all that lewd stuff and
cause
want and have be on hidden cameras and all that stuff and be blackmailed and all
yeah,
that. No,
cause
She was
she ain't gonna
she's
do
still
that.
very talented and still got a nice voice. And I'm like, Jesus Christ,
she's a
that
good
was
she's what you call a good girl. She's from my area. And when my niece was very young, she took dance, tap, jazz, and everything, and she went to the same dance studio. So I sort of kind of knew Maya. She was big teenage when my niece was little, and she's a good girl. She was nice too, genuinely nice. My niece used to play with her niece, so she was genuinely nice girl. She really is.
so. I guess that kind of proves
So
if you don't follow what they do, then they're gonna cut you out no matter how
If you
talented
ain't
you is.
gonna be in them orgies and being high and drunk and let folks go in every orifice and be on hidden camera, you can forget it, I guess.
yeah, but
Okay.
she was a nice girl. Her father was in the business, and she's talented. Could dance her tail off.
Who
Talented,
who which
but
who are you
she
talking about? Maya?
Maya, yeah, she could dance her
Yeah, oh yeah,
tail
she
off.
can dance. She really can.
Dance. I got videos here when they used to have their oh gosh, what you call it when they had their dance recitals and things. And cause she was she was a big teenage girl when my niece was little, and they used to let her do solos at the for the recitals and stuff like that. Talented girl, talented woman, can sing and can do it all, and she's genuinely nice.
Yeah, she
From
comes
what I
across
remember,
really.
what I remember, genuinely nice girl, woman. I just said
It's
she was a
crazy
woman.
being in that industry. After SKA Twigs, they were attacking her all over in England nonstop. They were so jealous, um, calling her, saying she looked like a monkey, and just all kind of crazy stuff. And so then that happened, and some years passed, and she got involved with that little crazy actor in L.A., the one that has real problems, and he was abusive. And she sued him, and she said he gave her an STD.
Mm.
Shia LaBeouf.
Oh yeah. She was.
I mean, getting
Yeah.
involved in the entertainment industry, you really are taking risks with those people. Okay.
You are. You have to be a strong one, and you've got to have a good family that has to be behind you, good representation, or you will get chewed up, and
And
spit
you
out.
know what? She didn't have it. She had her mom in England, and she didn't come from money, right? Her mother was a working class person. I don't think SK Twix has any even siblings. It's just like, Halle Berry went down there to LA and got involved with that old Wesley Snipes. She hadn't blown up, and it was.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't want to say over the phone, but folks know
Dog
what
eat dog.
happened.
Dog eat. That's what it is in that industry.
And she
You
didn't
have
have
to
no
be.
male protectors. She didn't have no, daddies and brothers and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So they know who
Mhm.
to target. And I
Mhm.
know Leela James. She's a fabulous singer, and I saw her maybe like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and she was talking about, and it's a nice place, but it's not no big venue, with no 50,000, 100,000 people. A small, nice jazz club restaurant, and she was talking to the audience and saying, there are some of us we're good singers. Some people have been in the entertainment industry, but you will never see them blowing up really big like the main street artists because some of us just refuse to participate in certain things, and therefore
Certain
we'll
things,
make a
exactly.
living. We'll make a living, but it's not going to be like you're going to become wealthy, you know. And so that's
Mhm.
another person that said, nope, I'm not going to. I got standards. I'm not going to be involved in the foolishness.
I don't know.
And that's
Maybe
really
Nicki Minaj went. Minaj might have went through some stuff. I'm sure she did when she got into the industry because she hadn't probably nobody
yeah.
looking out for her either. I'm sure she went
Yeah.
through some things, but there's still no excuse. I'm not gonna. I don't know what that is. Am I disappointed?
Yeah.
No. Do I care? No. Cause I'm not a fan
Mm-mm.
of hers. She ain't got off that train because you could tell that she's a mean girl. She's mean. She's a mean girl.
Yes, she is. She got a mean streak. Yes, she does.
Mhm.
Yeah. You could tell.
You can tell. And that's one thing I
And
don't
that's
like mean
All
people.
power to the
Mean
people.
girls. Mean
As
girls.
everyone
Mean girls
knows, I'm
don't
Paul
go.
Birdsong.
I'm
I got a
telling
message from Aaron Dixon today saying that he no longer supports us. That after he gave
you.
them mean girls, they dangerous.
Very much so. Oh yeah, Tyrone, I see you playing that video.
What
Oh, for the
video?
Black Panthers.
Yeah, I don't know
fake
what
Black
that is.
Panther?
Well,
Those
yeah.
people are
Last
fake.
week I was talking to y'all how these people are full of shit now, and let me I'm gonna constantly say I support what they do, and all that kind of stuff. But this dude was not the Black Panther. That's my whole point. And this
That
week,
kind of light-skinned guy
yeah,
with kind of
Paul.
curly.
I think his name
Yeah,
is
he's
Birdsong.
fake. He just seems fake. I mean, his energy is just fake.
Well, I'm gonna play the audio from last week to let y'all hear him, and then I'm gonna play the new audio where he have to shut the fuck up because he's not the Black Panthers. So let me play this audio right quick. This is from Minnesota. The first time that he hit the scene. And listen, when he hit the scene, white people lost their damn mind. They lost their mind and they were like, "Oh yeah, the Black Panther, Black Panther, Black Panther." I'm like, "What the fuck?" And then I see like white people want the black people to get out front with some type of militant shit, and we shouldn't do that. But this idiot right here, this biracial guy, I don't know if he's biracial or not, but this idiot right here going to jump out there like he's going to defend the damn migrants and shit, and that ain't what the Black Panther stood for. But here, let me play this video right quick. Here's this one.
Won't no ICE agent ever run up on me. I guarantee you they won't. I'll put a hole in their chest the size of a window. Safe line repair, safe line replace. That's what's gonna happen. They touch me. Unarmed woman was killed by ICE. If you think you about to come and brutalize the people while we're standing here, fuck around and find out. Our interactions with the police and ICE, and we hold them accountable. We hold them accountable. We patrol the community and we hold them accountable. The Black Panther Party for Self-Defense, we're the same Panther Party from back in the day, but we're a little more aggressive now, you dig? Carry bigger guns and we don't take no shit. Places where there are a lot of immigrants at, I think that the community around them needs to take special care to them and needs to start escorting them to and from everywhere to make sure that they're safe. Because them ICE agents ain't gonna act like that if it's a bunch of people standing outside with assault rifles and shotguns. It's a semi-automatic shotgun. That means if shotgun shells are shoot out of a pump, they shoot them rapidly. If you are gonna legally arm yourself with something bigger than what they got. Those who serve in the public, they should be fearful of the public. They should be fearful that the public's gonna be dissatisfied with their job that they're doing, not feeling like they're tyrants, not feeling like they're bullies because they got guns and body armor and walkie-talkies. That makes them immune to whatever the people will do. I think you want to correct the ideology of the pig and the mentality of the slave catcher. You meet them with equal force. All power to the motherfucking people.
All right, that's when white people got excited. I got this other video of the latest iteration, and you know, like I said, I don't got nothing against these guys, but they can't call themselves the damn Black Panthers. So here's the other one. Here we go.
All power to the people. All power to the people. As everyone knows, I'm Paul Birdsong. I got a message from Aaron Dixon today saying that he no longer supports us. That after he gave me orders to make a video saying that him and other members were coming, that he withdrew his support. And that he said that this situation is unimportant to him, even though my comrades have risked their lives and spent thousands of hours of their time and dollars and life standing behind a cause. You know, he said he's going to make a statement saying no one has the right to call himself a Black Panther going forward. I told him to make sure that he put in that statement that he did in fact give us the right to call ourselves that, because I still have the messages where he did, just in case he doesn't. And I put in there also, make sure that you put in there that Emory Douglas did give us the right to wear that emblem, because I still have the messages where that happened too. But as it stands, because of that, because of me and my comrades risking our lives and all the heat that we went under, because of the counter-revolutionary practices, because we don't believe in black nationalism, like Bobby Seale said in the video that I shared on my page earlier, that black nationalism is acquiesced to racism, and that we don't stand like that we're internationalists and intercommunalists, just like Huey Newton said. We will no longer identify with this flag. We will no longer identify ourselves as the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense. We're going to take OG from the town's advice. We're going to take the name that he decided to put out there. We're going to call ourselves the Black Lion Party for International Solidarity. Reason for the international solidarity is because we will stand with the immigrants. We will stand with the people being terrorized for ICE. We will stand with any oppressed people across the world. We will keep feeding every single day, keep offering food every single day. We will keep patrolling the community with guns. We will keep stopping drug dealers, keep stopping sex traffickers. We will keep stopping police brutality. This little plaque that I got, it says Paul Birdsong, and as a Panther, it says since 2020. I don't regret the work that I've done because it's brought me to this point. But going forward, these Panther patches will no longer be on my uniform. Me and my comrades stand independent. We are willing to work with any organization that stands for the rights of every living person. Any organization that stands against imperialism, attacking immigrants. Now, if you're out here raping people and killing people and selling, support them. But those people out there that are just working hard, trying to provide for their families, trying to escape the guerrilla warfare and the cartel warfare that's happening in their countries, to come for that promise of the American dream that the United States of America Incorporated lies about, we feel that they shouldn't be bothered, and we're willing to stand beside them to ensure that they're not. All power to the people.
Power to the people.
Oh, January 31st, you can still come out. You know, we're willing to sit down and talk about solidarity, sit down and talk about unification, sit down and talk about continuing to work, because ain't nothing stopping this way. All power to the people.
All power to the people.
What it sounds like is the actual Black Panther Party told these guys to stop using to stop using the name Black Panther Party. And rightfully so. You know, he said the reason I titled the show it way because they said they're gonna start calling themselves the Black Lion Party, and let them be called the Black Lion. They can be called anything. I don't know why it has to be a cat, but they can call themselves anything and get out there and do good work. But you just can't. Huh?
Because I don't trust him at all. He could be a plant. I mean, just by fact he's lying and saying they were the new Black Panther Party. He sounds insincere.
Mhm.
He just doesn't sound real, and I don't trust him at all. Period.
Well, and my thing is that he seemed more wanting to push towards helping migrants than actually, black people. And he was saying that one of the original Black Panther movement was about internationalism. But if you read their 10-point plan, they always put black people first. The 10 points is right here. We want freedom, we want power, determination, destiny for our black and oppressed communities. Black and oppressed. The second one is we want full employment for our people. The third one is we want an end to the robbery by the capitalists of our black oppressed communities, black and oppressed. We want decent housing, fit for all shelter of human beings. The fifth one is we want education for our people that exposes the true nature of the decadence American society. We want education that teaches us our true history. He's talking about black people, our role in the present day society. We want all black men to be exempt from military service. We want completely free health care for all black and oppressed people. We want immediate end to police brutality, murder of black in the United States. We want freedom for all black men held in federal, state, county, and city prisons and jails. We want immediate end to all wars and aggression. We want freedom for all black and poor oppressed people now held in the U.S. federal, state, county, and military prisons and jails. We want trials by a jury of peers for all persons charged with so-called crimes under the laws of this country. And the last one, we want land, bread, housing, education, clothing, justice, peace, and people's community control of modern technology. When Paul Birdsong is talking about, I think he said Huey, the Huey guy was an internationalist. I'm thinking that he's misinterpreting that because the Black Panther was for black people. And of course they're going to say oppressed people because during that time you did have oppressed people. You had oppressed migrants, you had oppressed white people, you had oppressed all kind of people. But he was talking about, all of those people that was unfortunate, but he put black first. That's what the Black Panther was for. I don't know where this guy come off talking about we in Minnesota fighting for migrants, and I ain't seen him at no goddamn rallies for black people. I don't see him show up when black people get murdered in this damn country. I don't see any organization for black, the NAACP, the Black Caucus. I don't see none of these people show up when we see the blatant racism going on in this damn administration against black Americans, tearing down historical markers, trying to tear down museums. In Philadelphia, they just had 2 placards took down. Where was the goddamn Black Panthers there? So if they working in their community, I'm not going to, talk bad about them guys. But if you're going to include other races, you can do that. But, don't call yourself the goddamn Black Panthers. That's just what it is. But he had to eat his words there. And, I don't know why he was in Minnesota raising all that sand about being a Black Panther and all this kind of shit. And he's the original Black Panther. I mean, come on, guy. You can't do that.
But Tyrone, all that talk he was doing about what he would do to ICE and you needed it, the fact that they haven't been arrested, dragged up under the bus, that to me, that speaks to something is not right there. And black people do not lose. I hope no black people listen to him and give rah rah rah. And I kept seeing so much of that on social media, articles and stuff. I talk about the guns and what he's gonna do, what he's gonna. You know how the administration is working. They killing white folks. Why haven't they been arrested for making threats?
Right.
Why?
Yeah, there's something like Miss Lady said, like you saying, there's something there. He's a little suspicious why he's allowed out there at this time.
It's suspicious, and they haven't even come after him and arrest him, because all they have to do is say make a terroristic threat, and nothing has been done, and they still out there roaming around with it. Something is just not right with that. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna tear them down, but I don't want black people to run out there with no guns following this, because something doesn't sit right with me with this. It just doesn't.
Well, yeah, it is a little strange.
Go ahead.
No, it's a little strange, but I'm gonna open this line here. Who's this? ABC? That's what it says, ABC.
Yeah, what's happening, man?
Hey, what's up?
Nothing. I ain't really had nothing too special. I heard you talking about the Black Panthers, and I talked about that on the show last week.
Mm-hmm.
Them niggas is frauds. Those are agents. We need to call them out.
Well, that's the direction that people are saying, yeah.
Yeah, and I like what you said about I said the same thing last week. We got the NAACP, the Urban League, all these black organizations and stuff, and like you said, I said the same thing. Where was they at? All these lynchings that we heard, or guys that were hung, and they were talking about it was suicide and stuff. Where was these people then? And where are they with any of this stuff? So it just kind of reinforces my opinion that you can't trust none of this shit or none of these people. You got to focus on, getting yourself together and your families, and then hopefully enough of y'all.
Yeah, in that line of thinking, like Elisa and Miss Lady is alluding to, I think that they are put out front so they can drag other black people with guns to the street. Yes, and then that's when the damn Trump administration going to say, okay, well, we have to do what we have to do because these black people are threatening. But I'm glad black people.
Same thing I said.
I'm glad.
Damn, this is crazy.
I'm glad black people aren't fault.
We all on the same page.
Yeah, because I think we are at an age to where we know who the damn Black Panthers was. I mean, we literally know who the hell they was, and this ain't it. That wasn't it. When that guy got on camera talking all that shit about, I got a gun and I can shoot the pig and all this kind of shit. Nah, that ain't the Black Panthers. Nah.
And he hasn't been snatched up off the street and arrested for making terroristic threats. That don't even sound right. That doesn't sound right.
And he carrying an AR-15 on video, like, yeah, I'm gonna put a hole. He said something. I'm gonna put a hole the size of a windshield in ISIS chest or some shit.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? But I like what you said too. Again, and I said, man, if you can hear all this shit on my show from last week, I said the same thing. All it's gonna take is for one of those black people to get shot or killed or some shit like that, and then all black people just out of sympathy because it's black.
Yeah.
Like, well, wait a minute now, and then that pulls us in here and shit. So fuck those people.
I agree with that 1,000%, and I was like, black people, and I don't know what this is or what they doing, who paying these people, but none of that sounds right. Y'all stay y'all behind in the house, and then other people get out there. That's what and the fact that they haven't been, because do y'all remember back when the George Floyd protest and Black Lives Matter and all that was going on?
Yeah.
Remember there was another Black Panther Party. They called themselves the New Black Panther Party.
Yeah.
And everybody came out making, they came out making threats and all this stuff. They got locked up. And the fact that these people are out here still, I'm not gonna run them down, because could be wrong and it is possible, but this don't look right. Doesn't look right.
Yeah, the big thing is they're doing all this because of illegal immigrants and whatever you want to call it, undocumented and all this stuff. But now you show up for that shit, and you going right to the place, Minnesota, where all these white people are.
Yeah, exactly. Why didn't they show up in Chicago or D.C. or some damn well? They're going to go right to Minnesota. I mean, what the fuck? This ain't right. This is not right.
That shit's funny.
And talking rough and tough, and some of that stuff they saying is terroristic threats.
Yeah.
And they haven't been snatched up. They haven't get snatched up yet? No, black people. And some of our people fell for it because I saw the articles online. And but other people was like, y'all, pardon my language, but when a lot of people was like, y'all say y'all black asses in the house, I mean, right. So a lot of black people was like, yeah. Welcome to the people.
Oh, you seen black people supporting Birdsong?
Online, not in the street.
Yeah.
Online.
I saw.
I was like, yeah, power to the people. Yeah, but other people was like, y'all better slow your rolls on that talk. Somebody called me a coon because I was like, I don't know about this. I don't know what this.
You a coon.
They called me straight up coon because I was like, y'all slow your roll, put the fish down. This doesn't look right to me. Yeah, I was called all kinds of coons on the thread, and I was like, okay, I'll be your coon, but I just want y'all to be safe.
Hey, you know, there's some black women out there too. What's that one lady? The lady that went to the church. They didn't went into church, disrupted people trying to pray to Jesus. They in there yelling and shit, and you know.
They tried to make Don Lemon. They tried to make Don Lemon the face of that.
Yeah. Well, he needs to get it too. All of them for going. Look, do your protest. You can do it outside the church, but they didn't came in the church acting like they gonna worship, then just disrupting shit. But it's a black lady that's the head of it. And you seen the video where Don Lemon was interviewing her before they went in there, and she's like, I think she actually said like, we're gonna go in there. I forget exactly how she said it, but she basically said we're gonna act like we going in there to serve, and then we're gonna do our thing and shit, disrupt it. Like,
well, they shouldn't disrupt the church because they felt like there was a member in that church that was supporting ICE, so they went in there to confront those people, but they shouldn't have did it in the church. Yeah.
But we got a right to freedom of religious expression or some shit. I forget exactly how it's phrased.
Yeah.
You ain't gotta go up in the church and do all this shit. They're yelling and screaming and stuff. But again, it's a black lady that was leading. So again, and these are the ones I call, and I know y'all don't like that kind of stuff, but I'm like, these are niggas, man. Screw those niggas. They are agents. You know, we need to let these people know, no, we ain't going for it. And I got to get off the line here, but I want to say this too. You know who's behind all this stuff? It's those people, those small hats.
The Jews.
Damn straight. They behind all this shit. They are.
Yeah, I mean that looked mighty suspicious for the Black Panther to show up there with weapons.
Yeah. All of a sudden, who are these people? I just said these are, But anyway, did you know that they wanted in that spending bill, the Democrats stood up against it and some Republicans joined, so it didn't pass, I don't think. But they wanted to be able to deport U.S. citizens.
They want to deport U.S. citizens?
They wanted the ability to deport U.S. citizens, and along with that, 75 billion for that ICE. For ICE, I think it was all this tax money to ICE, more than a lot of countries' military. This is where our tax dollars is going. Well, 75 billion, and they can be able to deport U.S. citizens because it's all about making money. Because they have all those private prisons and detention centers they have opened up, and it's rounding up people, putting them in those detention centers, deporting them and all that, building private prisons probably in other places, and it's all a money grab, our tax dollars.
Oh yeah.
Hey Tyrone, you need to pull that up and talk about that. I didn't know that was in the thing. I know that they was trying to do something about the ICE stuff, and the Democrats were saying, no, we ain't gonna support it because you want to get more money for ICE. But I hadn't heard anything about they want to deport citizens. That needs to be shouted from the rooftops and shit.
And the Democrats stood up against it, and I think 7 or 8 Republicans joined them in not voting for that. They said, you have to take that out the bill. We're not gonna pass it. So I think they took it out.
Yeah, these people done lost it.
Now they're turning in on themselves. People didn't
Is
think
there
it would come back to them.
is there anything on the news about this? Like I haven't seen anything reported about specifically about the thing where they can take Americans out.
You can find it online. They had that in that bill. They said the Democrats said hell to the no. Mm-mm. Because we have presidents calling their Congress people saying you cannot vote for that.
Damn straight. Don't get the Democrats on this.
I saw it. I saw that. So they were telling everybody to call your Congress and your senators to vote no on that. I saw it on my timeline. And I was like, well, I don't have to call in your mind. It's something how they had it written. It's not specifically, but they can deport American citizens, but how they have it written, they can.
Yeah, I just found it on Google. It said in early 2026 that the debate surfaced regarding allegations that the Republicans led an effort to fund the Department of Homeland Security failed to include or specify the specifically removal protections preventing U.S. citizens from being mistakenly detained or deported during the mass immigration enforcement operations. So whenever they're deporting people, what they're saying is if you get swept up like they've been sweeping up citizens, if you're in the damn cage and they send you on the plane, then oh well, they ain't got no protections from that for citizens. And it sounds like what they're trying to do is correct that and say, no, if you find a U.S. citizen in your sweep, you need to identify that person and get them off that damn cage because you can't deport them people.
I think it's a slippery slope. I think, okay, start with that. But then eventually they're going to get you, oh, you're a felon, we can deport you too. I don't care if you are.
Because Trump said it. Trump said it initially before all this started. He said he wanted to deport the bad people.
And then, oh, you got a misdemeanor, we can deport you too.
Yeah.
It's a slippery slope because it's all about making money.
But this is what the fuck they voted for. They didn't want Kamala.
And they'll take Sarge up too. They'll sweep his ass up too. Okay.
They didn't want Kamala. They wanted all of this shit.
And opening up the prisons, it might start with the prisons. Opening up the prisons and start with them first. So yeah, because it was all about my timeline and stuff saying call all your congressmen and your local, your congressmen and your senators and tell them to vote no for that. Because how they have it written, it ain't saying support American citizens. But if you get caught up, that they can.
Yeah, they want no protection for American citizens in there. They just give ICE all this authority, and then they put your ass on a plane. You gone. That's crazy.
Once that gets passed, then then it can get stronger and stronger, and then then they open up the prisons and send all of them out. It's and how they had that thing written. And people wasn't paying attention. Here they can deport you, American citizens or not. It doesn't matter. So it's getting crazy. But I was happy, Tiger, on that video that you played. I was happy because I saw that yesterday. Someone was I don't remember who was playing that, and I was like, okay, well, I'm happy that they made them that they cannot use the Black Panther Party name anymore.
Yeah.
Because that really, the black community and whomever really needs to police that and not allow people to use that because they had so much trouble back when they were, the actual Black Panther Party. That needs to be something that we police heavily. And people using that and things like that. I think so. Because I saw a video last week. Because I didn't never heard about this guy. Hold on a minute.
Yeah, he had on his Instagram the actual cease and desist from the Black Panther because that's a legal organization with that name. They just can't use that name any type of way.
Yeah.
And I was gonna pull that up, but I couldn't find it.
Okay, because I saw this video when they were talking about this. Like, this has to be policed heavily. Back in when the Black Panther Party was doing their thing,
it was always an Asian one that had on the beret and dark sunglasses. His name was Richard. I'm probably gonna butcher this. Aoki, Oki, or Aoki, Richard Aoki.
The Asian man.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then after he died in 2009, okay, he became a professor, I guess. He made a lot of money speaking on his years with the Black Panther Party. He became very famous. And when he died, people went in, you know, and they filed the papers and stuff, and they was like, let's check this dude out. And, you know, the Information Act, how you can file papers and this, that. He was the entire time, he was an FBI informant. For 15 years, he was an FBI informant. So it was stuff like that. They had so much trouble with the original one. You have to police that now. You have to police it. And in my opinion, I think it just needs to be left as what it was. And do your documentaries, talk about the Fred Hamptons and all of the Huey and all of them and the things they did and this and that. Leave that.
Yeah, because I mean, if Bird,
whatever you want to call yourself.
If Birdsong is serious, he can go out there and create his own path. He don't need to use the name of the Black Panthers. Yeah.
Don't use that. Let that be. Let that be a part of history. Let that be. And I think it really should remain police. And I think that should just be done. I'm glad they're not using the name. I hope stupid black people that was getting rah over this thing just sit back and watch whatever it is they do.
No, white people really got excited. they really was excited.
Yes, they did. And they was like, yeah, you know, and that was that same, it was, I don't remember what it was. It was one of them, USA, no, it wasn't CNN or one of them, and everybody was talking about, this is what we want, yeah, we ready. And I was like, well, black family, y'all slow your roll, and, you know, wait, see what this is, because something about this looks a little off. I was called, like I said, all types of combs, and all types of shoe shines. I didn't care. And every other black person that was like, slow your roll, put them fists down, we just something about this don't sound right. So they told us, I didn't have the white people was telling me all. And I was like, these white people over here pushing y'all, get your stuff out there in the street and get yourself hurt. And so that they can do what it is that they want to do. No, we have been playing this thing right. There's some of us that's always going to be sprinkled out there. But the best thing for us to do is stop spending protests with your dollar, do your talking and your different things online, with these shows and on the podcast and things like that. Stay off those streets.
Yeah, because like ABC was saying, the first thing they did was locked up that black lady that went to the church. They locked her ass up. And they was talking about locking up Don Lemon. They want to make black people the face of this damn movement up there, but that's a whole bunch of white people in Minnesota. Yeah.
You're not gonna make us the face of it. This is everybody else's turn, not just white folks. The Latinos, the Asians, the whomever. This is your time to get out there on the streets and fight the power. And I be doing my part. We do our show. I'm doing my part. I'm not spending money with these corporations and things like that. We can still do our part, and that's called coming up in the rear. Do not put your bodies out there. And I think a lot of white people get it. Black people stay off the street. Because this is going to give them a reason to do what it is they want to do. We stay off the street. And I'm sorry, I was kind of upset when I saw that. I was like, what are they talking about? And talking tough, too. And some of that stuff did sound kind of threatening to me. And the fact that they haven't been dragged up, they haven't been clocked in the head and dragged up off the street yet, it just don't look right. Sorry. No, I'm not sorry. It don't look right to me. Don't y'all fall for that, get y'all all riled up. And just like ABC said, if somebody get killed, and then we be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Somebody that's not them,
who join them with their fists pumped in the air get killed, then more black people be out there in the streets. No, stay off the streets. Stay out the streets. We're still out there because you're going to always have some of us sprinkled in. But let it be the masses, let it be them. This is their turn. They did this. So you let them get to the streets. I'm sorry, I said this a long time ago, that we need to stay out there out to the streets. And a lot of black people got the memo, and they are listening, and I am proud about it.
Well, yeah, and we was talking about Nicki Minaj earlier, and part of the reason is Donald Trump needs a black face, and he needs a popular black face, and Nicki Minaj is that coon right now, so.
She's that coon, but see, that's just it. Nobody's going to follow Nicki Minaj over there. Nicki Minaj is a rapper.
Well, that's how white people think about us, is that they think that if they get a popular black person, then that next thing you know, all the black people gonna follow that person. But ain't nobody gonna follow Nicki Minaj ass.
Nobody's not gonna follow, and I'm surprised they haven't seen that video when Nicki Minaj was when she was on her tour or whatever that was, and she was trashing Melania. They should have seen that. She was trashing the hell out of Melania and big up in Michelle. She was like, Barack found him a Michelle, and Clinton found him a Hillary, and talking about other different people, and she said and calling Melania a hoe, and this is what he got. You need to find you a this or that, not that. You know, they didn't get a load of that. They didn't get a load of that. So I said, I don't know what this is. I really don't care. That's Nicki Minaj's business. That's Nicki Minaj's business. Black people are not going to follow her, and black people do not take her lead. They don't. And they haven't realized that we don't, maybe back in the day, because we didn't have a lot of representation. So we followed certain people, like when James Brown and different other big black figures and stuff, but I think they were true back then. But they were still never like sports figures and actors and stuff. They were true. You heard Belafonte and stuff like that. But they were never our leaders, but they were respected. This is a whole different era now. The average black person look at these people, they just call like Nicki Minaj and them old coons and go about their business. And we know this to be true in the new millennia. We don't follow these people like that. We don't follow them. So she can do whatever she wants to do. She wants to throw herself away. That's her business. That is her business and her business alone. And they go along with the most ratchetest people. Look at this girl's husband and the people who she spent her time with. She's been beefing for over a decade with different other black women. So, I mean, nobody's not following her except for her stupid fans. Some of them, a lot of them have abandoned. But I don't know what it is. I really don't care. But I'm glad the this whatever this is. My mom was asking about it. I said, no, they're not. They saying they are the Black Panther Party. I said, but they're not the. I don't know. I don't know what that was. It's just a little very suspicious.
Yeah, when he claimed that he was the same group as the 60s, I'm like, okay, you going too far now. You going way too far.
I hope they are true, and whatever I do, and whatever that is that they're doing, let them do it. And if some white people want to help them out with it, and some Latinos, that's their business. That's their business. But black people, y'all stay away from that. That's all fist up in the air. You call me a coon all you want to. I care about my people, and that's why some of us was over here. You know, y'all take this down a little bit. We don't know nothing about this food about after that last Black Panther Party, and we laughed about them from the show back when the Black Lives Matter thing was going on, and they was doing some rough talk too. They locked all them up. I don't know if they still locked up. But that memory went away quickly.
Yeah, I mean, if an organization do rise up They need to be heavily involved in politics. It's okay to feed the community and do all of that stuff, police your community, but you're gonna have to enforce yourself into politics, and you have to merge yourself and try to take control. That's the type of action that I'm looking for. Yeah, you have to show strength. You have to show strength and all that kind of stuff, but you just talking and feeding the community, you still letting these people get over on you because they're gonna always be in charge unless you try to get into this politics.
Talk to people into not spending, boycotting these companies, taking away your support.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with a little bit of protest in the streets. You got to do a little piece of that. And do you think that you need to raise the money to help the people along the way and things like that? But this, I hear with guns and stuff, we can't do that. I mean, you can if you so choose. But we can't do that. We can kill in the street. I don't want us killed in the street. Because they out here, they ain't playing. They shot that man up. That was one of the worst things. And I don't watch things like that. I didn't watch it with George Floyd, the Browns, and some of these other people, these videos. I don't watch it. The woman who, they sentenced that police officer to 20 years, should have been life, that shot that woman in the face, who said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. And I don't look at things like that. But I did watch the Renee woman and this last man. I like to get people's names correct. Let me get his name correct. I don't like to call people a man because that man was killed viciously in the street. Hold on. Let me get his name. Killed by ICE. 8 people so far. And then this other black dude who seemed to got lost in the sauce.
Oh, yeah, that Keith Porter.
Yes, and the Ferretti man, so the Ferretti ICU doctor. So I mean, I watched those videos. And it did something to my nervous system, especially the Ferretti man. It did something to my nervous system because I don't watch things like that. I just shoot and kill that man dead in the street. And I'm so happy because I said this, and I told you so, and I hope more people, if they're not listening tonight, listen later. I told you guys they're going to come for you guys. Told you that.
Yeah, that man was doing everything right. He had his concealed carry card. He had his weapon concealed and holstered. He wasn't waving it about, and they took his weapon and then shot him after they took the damn weapon.
And now they're trying to say you should show up to a protest march. That it's a slippery slope. Because I have been saying all along, this country is heavily armed. And if everybody turn on them and something break out, all these people got all these guns. They ain't gonna never take your guns. Everybody's telling me that on this line. But I was saying, what? This is the slippery, tiny step to they coming for your gun. And you can't show, they're all saying it. This is the tiny baby step. Because they said for years, the liberals and the left and the progressives, it's going to take your gun. No, it was always going to be them that's going to try their best, but they got to do it and take baby steps. It's going to be them that's going to come for your gun. Them.
Yep, and it's disappointing because they took the guy that was in charge, that guy that dressed like a fucking Nazi. They moved them out of the area. Yeah. And I think they reassigned. Yeah, they reassigned Christine Gnomes, but that don't mean shit because they ain't holding this guy who shot him. Well, two guys shot him. They ain't holding them people accountable, and they ain't even addressing the fact that man got killed wrongfully.
But they also said that the police, if you are out in the street and you approach a police officer, you have a concealed gun that gives them the right.
Who said? Well, that's a lie. Who said that?
Let me read it to you.
I'll read it to you right now. And I was like, they make it see y'all ain't really paying attention to all of this.
But that's wrong. That is wrong. Is I don't know. That's wrong.
I heard it on the news. Who said it? You put it up right now because I'm not just talking out the side of my mouth. You put it up.
I mean, I don't carry a gun like that, but I understand the way they have the Second Amendment in this country, and if you have a legitimate concealed carry, and it don't matter where you at in the vicinity of a police officer. I mean, it's your legal right to carry that weapon.
You put it up. I heard first they have the right. Put it up.
Because I think Donald Trump getting on the airplane said something like that. You shouldn't show up at protests with a gun. And everybody called him out on that. Because it's wrong. I mean.
LA federal prosecutor for response to the Minneapolis shooting. Okay. As a lawful gunman shot dead. Yeah, those video. Former spokesperson of the National Security. Second Amendment backlash. Here it is. Bill, I should say, first is U.S. District California made a statement in January following the fatal shooting at last reporter. Okay. If you approach a law enforcement with a gun, there is a high likelihood they will be legally justified in shooting you. The first assistant U.S. attorney for the Central District of California, and a couple of them said that on a couple of these Trumpers said the same thing on the Sunday show.
Well, they wrong as hell.
Tell me I'm not right. It's that they taking baby steps and taking y'all's guns away.
Yeah, that's against the law there. That's crazy.
And they saying stuff like that. If you follow it, because that's what I have been really following, is their rhetoric over him having a gun. Well, and they're saying things like that. And who comes to, because you had all of them were saying, even Christy Jones, who comes to a protest march? Who comes to a protest with a loaded gun?
Americans, Americans do.
Some of them were saying you can't come to a protest with a gun.
Well, all you got to do in its own video, point back to Charlottesville. All of them white racists had guns in that protest. Every damn one of them.
They always show up to protest with guns. These white people, and those great big old, as you call them, war weapons. So they've been saying it for days. And are people paying attention? Some are. And the National Rifle Association, they came out with a little week. They came out with some pushback, but this week, they're coming for y'all's guns.
Well, I hope they do. I hope they do. I hope they do. That would be something funny to me.
They're coming for y'all's guns when they said it was supposed to be left. So, and I was saying, everybody was like, but they ain't gonna never do that. Tyrone, you said that too. Hey, they ain't gonna never do that because that's in the Constitution. I said, as things start heating up, they're gonna come up with a reason to start talking against all these people with these guns. And now they tell, well, who? And I get these district attorneys and stuff, and all these people, well, UK, the police, they have a right. They were saying all this stuff. If you have a gun there, I was like, okay. I was happy to hear the talk. I ain't saying I want y'all's guns to take mine. I ain't saying I want y'all's guns taken. Some of them do need to be taken, but I know how Americans feel about guns. And I was like, just wait on it. Wait on it. Something's going to happen, and they're going to start their talk, and people's not going to be paying attention. Some will. The National Rifle Association going to be weak on it, and they're not going to say much, and we here now.
Yeah. It's kind of strange. Who is this unknown caller?
I'm about to set your ass straight because I'm sick of this apples and oranges argument.
Okay. How you doing tonight? You doing all right, sir?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. And probably I'm gonna be feeling better when I kick your goddamn ass.
Okay. Okay. Well, calm down some of the hostility, sir.
Quickly,
Go ahead, sir.
and precisely.
Go ahead.
Apples belong with apples, and oranges belong with oranges. You have the right to legally carry a firearm anywhere you can legally carry it, including to a protest. I don't give a damn what Trump or Kristi Noem said.
That's what I've been saying.
Having said that, you do not have the right, either being unarmed or armed, to obstruct law enforcement officers or resist a lawful arrest. Being legally armed does not give you the right to commit a crime. Period. End of story. Apples are apples, oranges are oranges.
Okay, so you said that, right?
Nobody said that.
No, but I want to go there. Okay, I want to go there. But did you watch the video when Mr. Petty or whatever his name is, was assisting the woman up off of the ground? ICE ran up behind him, sprayed him with mace, and then started grabbing him. Now you said that you don't have a right to resist a legal arrest. That was an illegal arrest because he hadn't committed a crime, and if he did commit a crime, they didn't articulate to him what the reasonable suspicion was or anything. So in this situation, they're wrong all around, Sarge.
When I got arrested, I knew I was being arrested unlawfully because I read before I got to Georgia. I studied assiduously the right of self-defense in Georgia, and I consulted lawyers about it. And when he arrested me, I knew he was arresting me unlawfully. I did not resist his arrest because it just so happens in Georgia law, you have the right to resist an unlawful arrest. So I didn't. He didn't have the right to resist that arrest either. It's not up to him to make that decision. That's why we have courts. And
You said
it was a lawful arrest. Now, again, a court might not agree with me. A jury might not have agreed to me. But that is the reason you get arrested, you get arraigned, and you get a court date.
you said. Go ahead.
Before you go, what I saw in that video, he was standing on the other side of the street, recording. Whatever was going on the opposite side of the street, they chased the women and they ran over to where he was. He was not over there with them. They ran over to where he was and they shoved the woman down on the ground. And he was trying, don't interrupt, he was trying to cover the woman and help the woman up. Then they kind of sprayed them and knocked them on the ground. And then they were beating and kicking him. He was trying to block from the beating and the kicking. His coat jacket fell open. They saw he had a gun. One of the officers reached, snatched the gun out, and they loaded him up. What arrest was he trying to evade? You trying to help some woman up. They come and spray all that stuff in your eyes. You fall down. That's what the video I saw. They were kicking him in the head and beating him, and somebody was even hitting him in the head or something. His coat came open. They yelled gun. They got snatched the gun, and they loaded him up. What arrest was he evading?
A defense attorney who raises all the father role you just raised might very well find a receptive jury in a Minnesota federal court. That might work with that bunch. Problem for Mr. Petty is he didn't let that happen. He did resist arrest. I saw him raise his hand and push one of the. I watched that video 30 times from different angles. He pushed that officer, however slightly, he pushed him, and that led him to getting arrested.
Okay, let's say he resisted. Okay, so let's say he resisted. Okay, let's say he resisted. Should that have ended in death? Oh God, what is wrong with y'all? Okay, calm down, calm down, calm down, calm down, calm down. What the hell ever? Sarge hung up. Sarge hung up. Miss Lady, you ran Sarge off the phone.
Good.
Well, yeah, Sarge is full of shit. Even if the guy was resisting arrest, that shouldn't have ended with, especially after they took his gun. That shouldn't have ended with them shooting him. What's up, ABC?
That jumped him and were beating him in various parts of his body.
And he was trying to protect himself. Somebody kicking you and beating you in your head and say, you're going to try to protect yourself.
And the main point is that they shot him.
Big old ice bill being arrested by some popo, I don't know where. It was a short clip on YouTube. They got him. I'm glad to see it was some black police officers who are very different from Sarge. They got that 6-foot big old ice man. They was handcuffing him. You are under arrest. And that's what they need to start doing.
Yeah, and the main part is that they took his gun first, then shot him. So he was not a threat at all. But what's up, ABC? What's up, ABC?
Well, this is one of the places I disagree with you. Did he have a right to bear arms or have a gun?
Yes, that's yeah.
He does, so that's fine.
He has the right, yeah.
No, look, so I'm good with that. I ain't got a problem with that. The only thing I'm saying is that you go into this place, you know it's all crazy out there with these protesters. You're gonna join them, and you carry a gun out there, and now you just put yourself in this situation. Deal with the consequences. Now he can be trying to be nice about it, and maybe he tried to push somebody. He wouldn't fight, and he didn't pull his gun up, but all that hustle and tussle out there and shit. It's just been going on for how long? 2 weeks or something? That they out there screaming and fighting and throwing stuff and all this kind of shit. You put yourself in that situation, taking a gun with you. So fuck him. I feel nothing about that guy.
So you saying that it was justified? Let me get this straight. So you saying?
He has a great reputation, and they said he was the kindest, most helpful person. So,
well, what are you doing out there? Why ain't he in the ICU helping people? Why ain't he out helping the ICU?
You should see. Your YouTube clip they got it showed him in December.
Oh, so it wasn't nobody in the ICU while he was out there doing that shit?
So ABC, wait a minute, hold on. You sounding anti-American, man. He was out there because this is America, and he has a First Amendment right to be there and protest. That's why he was there.
Look, I'm talking about using some common sense. You know, does he have a First Amendment right to take his gun out there? Okay, yeah.
He has a Second Amendment right to take his gun.
I'm not arguing. That ain't even an argument. Nobody's arguing against that. Nobody's saying different. We all agree he got a First Amendment right to do that. But if you go into a place that's all chaotic, you know what the hell is going on. These protesters out there instigating shit because these ICE people want to go pick up these illegal immigrants. It's a bunch of yelling back and forth. It's chaotic. You don't know how shit gonna pop off, and you go up in there with a gun on your waist, talking about just using your First Amendment right to whatever.
So wait a minute, are you saying that he should die?
I can't hear you, Tyrone. I can't hear you.
Are you saying that he should die?
Whenever she finishes, I can't hear you, man. I'm serious. I can't.
Don't take some X-Lax.
Oh my goodness. Are you saying that he should die? That he was justified in killing that man?
I'm saying fuck that guy. I could care less about him. I don't know anything about him, and I don't want to know nothing about him. I did see that a week before that they said his ribs got broke because he was out there tussling with these people.
Okay, well you can't bring in what happened a week before to this situation.
Hold on. I mean, I ain't trying to be funny or nothing, but seriously. Is it true that a week before he was out there tussling with these people and he got some broken ribs or something?
I don't know. All I'm going by is what you said, and you bringing a week before into this conversation.
Willing deceased veterans and said a prayer with the other staff and said, we honor you. Thank you for your service. You do pay the sacrifice. Sometimes we have to sacrifice ourselves in order to save our freedom. See, some people got guts and balls. Some people all they got is a mouth to run.
So anyway,
but listen, you brought into the conversation what he did a week before.
You already got in the fight a week before that shit.
But that's what I'm trying to say. You bringing into the conversation.
Go out there. He decided to go back a week later with his gun on his holster and engaging with these people.
Okay, we heard you. But what I'm trying to say is you brought in his action a week before, which don't have anything to do with those actions that day. Nothing.
Well, hold on. Let me tell you why I brought it up. Because I'm saying if you dumb enough to go out there and participate in that bullshit, because what are you fighting for? If you fighting for, some shit going on in your community and they just coming in there fucking with people or something, that's one thing. But you traveling out to this area to tell ICE, hey, leave these illegal immigrants alone, then fuck you, man. Anybody that's doing that, fuck you, go to hell, you get what you get. And especially, you dumb enough to bring a gun out there. Screw you. You ain't a martyr, you ain't shit. You a dumbass. And actually, I think he's one of these people that they send out there, that those people send out there to agitate shit, that Antifa stuff. All those people, you volunteer to be one of those people, then you get what you get.
So let me ask you this. Why is ICE there, in your opinion?
To get illegal immigrants. That they say to get the worst ones. They say to get...
Well, hold on, I want to know. Do you think they're there to get the worst ones, or you think they're to get illegal immigrants?
Well, they say they're going. Okay. Whenever she finishes talking, I'll talk.
Okay, and that's what they're fighting against, all of this illegal kidnapping of people, but they're also fighting, they know that they're coming for them next. And they have taken some of those who have disappeared. Children have disappeared. So they're coming for you next, okay?
All right, so Tyrone, anyway, the thing is, these people, you know what you're going into. You go in there to supposedly stop ICE from picking up these illegal immigrants. And according to the government, they're going for the worst of the worst of some shit. And also, that city won't let them go into the jails to grab these people. So it's like they are purposely creating all this chaos to try to prevent the ICE agents from getting these illegal immigrants out. And again, according to the government, they're going for the worst of the worst. But they said, if you in that vicinity with them, we're going to grab you up too. And I'm like, get all them motherfuckers out of here. All of them, the illegal immigrants. They taking away jobs from regular Americans and shit. So screw that shit. It's a bad policy that happened under Biden. He let all the people in, and now it's got to be cleaned up. And I think it's all purposeful. Trump is owned by those people, the small hats. Biden is owned by small hats. It's problem, reaction, solution. Biden opened up floodgates and let all these crazies get in there. They're doing all kind of shit. And then Trump's like, well, we got to go get them. So now he's just grabbing up all these people and shit. And in the process, some of these people getting killed and hurt. And then everybody's supposed to be like, oh, he shouldn't do that. Man, all this shit was a setup. Fuck all of those people. You better take care of yourself and your family. And if they start targeting Americans, that's a whole other story. But right now they're targeting all those people that came in here illegally. That the floodgates was open. So screw it. Let them get them out of here so you can get a job.
That's a damn shame, buddy. Go ahead, Elisa.
Tyrone, I wouldn't argue that. Since you have to screen up, type in Google images at MAGA at protests with guns. Just want you to put that up on the screen.
Type in what? MAGA what? MAGA at protests?
MAGA's at protests with guns. So just type in Google and select images.
At protests, and then what's the last word you said?
With guns.
With signs?
So like guns.
With guns, okay.
MAGA's at protests with guns. It just select images. When they bring up the whole screen of images. So, MAGA's at protest with guns. Just type it in Google. And select images. There you go. That's all the MAGAs. There's Carol Rittenhouse, first one up there. And you see all of these photos and these magazines with these war weapons at protests with guns. Nothing happens to them. Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yeah, that's why it was ABC saying is stupid as fuck because we live in America.
I wouldn't even argue that because that's just stupid. Look at all of them. So, yeah.
Yeah, all of a sudden it's not okay to bear arms at a protest. I mean, honestly, I've been arguing against guns since day one, but if we say it's okay to be at a protest with a gun, it should be okay with a protest with a gun. And this guy had it concealed. Nobody's seen it. It was in his holster. He wasn't bothering anybody with his gun.
He wasn't even thinking about trying to reach for it or do anything. And when they had him down like that, he should have reached for it and take some of them with him. But he didn't even think about doing that. He was just trying to protect himself. And the man, he is a martyr, and he is a hero. And like his ex-wife, who is also a nurse, she spoke out, and she was saying that's who he was when it came to people's rights and protecting people. He was out there doing the George Floyd and different things like that. When black people have been killed by police, he would always go out and join the protests to try to help people. She said that's who he was. And it hurt me to say I don't give a F about that dude. He got what he deserved. That's awful.
Well, yeah, because ABC is stuck on these. ABC got his nose so far up white people's ass, he can't see right from wrong. And regardless of you're a Republican or not, or you support MAGA or not, this was wrong. This was blatantly wrong. The Renee Good stuff was wrong. But she had a vehicle, and then they could use that as an excuse. But there's no excuse for this one. There's no excuse for this one.
None whatsoever. And for people to call in and say that, and for Sarge, who was a police officer, we all saw that video. Nobody did this. That is why the administration is trying to back off. But like you said, getting rid of the bovine Gestapo dude, Heinrich Himmler, and some of these other people, all that is just moving around the lawn chairs. That's all that is.
Yeah, cause there ain't nobody getting held accountable for this. There's no punishments being dished out.
Not yet, but that's why I hate Sarge hung out, because I'm hoping that a day will come where we'll have some Nuremberg trial. And so people will, and we all know what happened there. They hung a lot of Nazis. And it wasn't just Nuremberg trials. There was trials all over in Poland and Russia and different places, and they hung a lot of people, guards, people who were in military, and following orders didn't cut it. I was following orders. A lot of people were hung. Some women too, who were some of the prison guards in some of them death camps. They asses were hung too. A lot of women were. And I hope today, because I don't want to hear anything, if we're able to stop some of this, and the Democrats, which I don't depend on them at all, get back in charge of the country, because we did that when Trump, with the insurrection and all of that went on, well, the country needs to heal. And Biden, with his slow poking ass, they all dragged their feet. They didn't have these trials. They did, and the Attorney General, I forget his name.
Merrick Garland.
Merrick Garland, they all dragged their feet, and look at where we are. And I don't want to hear this, but the country needs to heal. To hell with healing. We need retribution. We need people, not retribution, let me take that word back. We need to make the laws do what they were created to do. And I'm not saying hang anybody, because this is a different era. We're living in a different era from the 1940s. But back then, when the main Nuremberg trial that was televised to the world, they hung a lot of Nazis, and they had these different trials all over. That was the main one, but they had trials all over the place, and they hung a lot of people.
Yeah, they need to put them in jail. They need to be in jail. All these people need to go to jail.
Build more federal prisons if necessary, and lock these people up for life.
But I'm gonna tell you,
That's what they did there.
I'm gonna tell you what's gonna go on. Donald Trump is gonna pardon everybody that he can, everybody in ICE. He's gonna pardon all of his staff, all of these people that supporting his agenda. They're gonna get pardons. So they're gonna walk on.
They got to find a way to try them with stuff he didn't. I don't know how, but it's not going to be the time for the country to heal, because the country's never going to heal. It didn't heal before. Look at where we at now. It's not working.
Well, there's a way around it. There's a way around it, I think, with these state attorney generals. If that individual, if that individual was in that state and broke that law, that's what the girl from Georgia did. But if that individual was in that state and broke that law, then that state attorney general can go after them for that state violation of the law. Yeah, but the attorney general's got to get online, just like Keith Ellison up there in Minnesota. He need to get his ass in gear, because there's a lot he can do against ICE up there. I don't know why the fuck he ain't, but I seen the Philadelphia attorney general come on there with that black sheriff and told them, if y'all show y'all ass up here, we gonna lock all of y'all up. They said it, and I was like, I was like, okay, well, yeah, that's what you can do. So Keith Ellison can do the same thing.
And we're gonna have to do that if we're able to get this thing, I don't know, not fully under control, but somewhat under control. They're going to have to do that. And they're going to have to set a precedent. No more Biden chicken and jiving and slow and old. But we have to heal. And then start up the thing against Trump with the stealing of those documents. And like they had the raid on the Fulton County up there with the election thing. They took all. It's got to be some harsh laws, and a lot of people. I mean, Orange will probably not be here when all of this is going on. I hope so, and lock his ass up too. It's gonna have to be this to let the people know we do this is never, ever going to happen again. When you just, I don't care what Sergeant, ADC, and who else has decided. They have got to do something to show. I mean, so much damage has been done. You're never going to correct it. You're never going to fix some of the damage. But if we could try to get some things under control, they're going to have to put a lot of people in prison. And I hate to say this, like when them people charged up there on the Capitol for the day the insurrection of January 6th, and Trump, he was, and it sounds terrible, but he was supposed to pardon all those people. He was the commander-in-chief, and he sent them people up there to do that. So he was supposed to look after all the people and they didn't go. And just like these ICE agents out here creating all this chaos and just doing anything, he's supposed to pardon them too. Because they're following the orders of the commander-in-chief. Mm-hmm. And this may sound bad, but when the commander-in-chief send you out to do stuff, even though you know it's wrong, he's supposed to pardon them. But once we get a control over this thing, I was following orders is not supposed to fly.
Right. You can't follow illegal orders.
You can't do that. So they didn't allow it to fly back in the 1940s when they hung all them damn people. Not supposed to. They did not allow it to fly then, and it's not supposed to fly if we ever get some control over this thing. They need to put them people in prison forever.
Yeah, because there's a story. There's a story that they refer to. I think it was in Vietnam, of this commander ordering his troop to slaughter a whole bunch of people, civilians, and they use that as an example of you cannot follow illegal orders. I can't remember the guy's name. I think he was a lieutenant.
I'll pull it up. Let me see the.
village in Vietnam. War. And them people, they just said they murdered, and some of them didn't do it. The My Lang massacre.
Yeah, that's it.
And so and not everyone was punished. Only what handful of people barely was punished. And see, but in the 1940s, because it wasn't. But I mean, it was like no. You're gonna have to be harsh and strict with this thing, and you're gonna have to put a lot of people in prison. A lot of people is gonna have to go to prison, and it should be orange, known as what's the Jewish guy who's the one that's behind ICE that's really running everything.
Tom Homan.
What's Secretary of State? Him.
Yeah.
Bunch of people. He should be at the head of the military. What's his name? These people's name is
Headchef, Pete Headchef.
Headchef, the head of the FBI, that crazy-eyed fool. These people need to be in prison, and a lot more. Put them in prison, up under the prison for life, and I don't mind my tax dollars going to pay for it to feed them. Put them in there for life.
Yeah,
Y'all ain't doing this no more.
They allowed this man to get this powerful. That first fucking impeachment. Well, no. The first time he said that stuff on that Hollywood Access bus, he should have been done. But they allowed him to do that. And then the first impeachment. And then the second impeachment. And then him using his family in the White House. He just kept doing more and more. And
I just like I blame the Republicans, I blame the Democrats just as much. Because all of them were bought off, taking PAC money, doing this, doing that, and not doing their job. What they were sent, what the people voted for, to send them up to the Democrats is much to blame. And Biden is to blame. The Attorney General, what's his name again?
Merrick Garland.
Merrick Garland is to blame. All of them were to blame. Now, we had some safeguards from Kelly and Millie and those Joint Chiefs and all of them that kind of stopped a lot of this stuff. There's nobody there now to do it. I blame the Democrats, all of them taking all that money from APEC and different things like that. I blame all of them. They went up there, people voted for them to go up there to do a job. None of them, you had to take that back. The majority of them was sent up there to do a job. There are some that were serious. They took the oath and they were serious about it. But the majority of them, they went up there, they just collected a check, getting health care and doing things. And they sat up there, they knew more about what was to come than we knew a lot. And they knew even more.
Yep.
And they allowed it to happen. Yes, I blame Joe Biden too. I blame him as well.
Oh yeah, Joe Biden should have walked in the door, holding Trump accountable legally.
Heavy-handed.
Yeah, he waited till he bowed out of office and start doing the investigations and shit like that. And they telling this man that this man took these documents out of the White House. That should have been priority number one. Locking that motherfucker up for stealing that information from Washington and everything else that he did.
And the guy who was going to do the prosecution, and they were holding him back and forth up in front of Congress, he had an airtight tight. And Merrick Garland and sat on their ass and did nothing. They waited till, that's what we were saying, when it was coming near Biden was sitting up there, he was half arrow in the brain. Tell the truth, shame the devil, and they did nothing.
Yeah, that's why he hired Jack Smith, because he didn't want to look like he was doing anything. But if you look at the way they using Pam Bondi is going after in and every damn body.
Everybody. And they brought in Jack Smith a little too late.
Yeah.
He is a dog. He
and he was doing his thing, but he was brought in too late. And then Biden sitting up there trying to debate. I'm sorry with it. I don't give a rap. Who gives a rap? I know a lot of people was upset when I had said this, that Biden had no business running. Biden sitting up there trying to do a debate and sitting up there looking stupid in his face. Shouldn't be running for president, and they knew just like Trump. They knew they had access to all of the intelligence that was going along, and sitting up there too old to be running for president. He half-addled, and he let this stuff happen. So I blame them too. I do blame them too. Both sides. Not everybody, but the majority. And every time I try to say something about Hakeem Jeffries, well, he seems like on his hair, and I was like, he's bought too.
Yep.
And everybody was like, well, no, you don't like Hakeem Jeffries? I was like, no, because all of them are boys. Because when all that killing that was going on over there in Palestine, and when he went to speak with the AIPAC and this and that, I take rallies and we stand, I stand with them. And I was telling everybody, he's bought to, and now they look like a bunch of dumb, weak fools. And that's what I try to tell everybody, because when you Democrats, you leftists, I am not a Democrat. I lean left.
Yeah, the damn
programs and things to help people, I'm for all of that stuff. But both parties, they're not the same. I'm not saying that. They're not the same. But I'm not a Democrat, because they weak and they take money too. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because Trump just allowed the Jews to run this goddamn country. I know I'm be anti-Semitic, but that's the damn truth. Is you do whatever Israel say do.
Zionist.
Well, the Zionists, yeah.
Zionist.
They just took over with that AIPAC stuff.
And neither, they're not the same. One party is much worse than the other. But the other party is weak, and they take money too. They play the same game. They let these big corporations run roughshod over the people. We get used up. All of our tax dollars go to pay all of these things, and nothing is given back to help the people. And then the Republicans took it and talk about America first and screwing everybody into the grind. So it's bad on both sides. We need a whole new thing. And people talking about, well, we need a third party. It was too late to be talking about third party. And we were really in a fit. You had to vote for the lesser of two evils.
Yeah.
The third party, Green Party. It was too late. If we were ever really serious about having a viable third party, that had to been done 25 years ago. And we had to really be serious. But we were never serious about that. We stayed stuck in this.
Well, I mean, the playbook is there. Just do what the Tea Party did. They took over the Republican Party. So on the left, it need to be the same thing. The people with progressive views need to go ahead and lead the party. They need to the progressives need to take over the Democrats.
Take it over, like MAGA took over the Republican Party. Get rid of these Democrats, what do you call it? These centrists and these Democrats, get rid of them. These people, they playing the same game, not the same. Let me take that back. They're playing partly the same game as the Republicans are. They just throw you bones and keep the wheels turning. But they still behold it to the corporations. They still behold it to Big Pharma, and they still do the same types of things. They just throw the people a bone.
Yeah, and it's going to be hard to undo what they're doing, because these Republicans are entrenching themselves into these systems. They're buying the media companies, and they're just, they bought the judges. So it's going to be hard to undo what the hell these people are doing.
It's going to be hard because both sides were doing it just in a different way. And the only thing that I vote Democrat is because of the social things, because the people need something. They snatch and take all of our money and have us where, we don't have health care, we don't have this, we don't have that. And I'm not saying that the people should be begging, but when they jack you, I don't know who here in the state that I live in. Oh my God, are we taxed to the bone? We are so taxed to the bone, to the pathetic on everything. We pay a lot of taxes in my state, small state too. We pay a lot of taxes, and it's like they just don't want to give the people back nothing. They want to give the people back anything. I'm all for the social programs. I'm all for Social Security, raising Social Security so that the people can live. Things for the elderly, because they don't pay taxes their entire life. Had them my pay, and I'm paid, so they should be able to live comfortable and to pay for the schools, for good education, the health care for the people, and different things like that. But we've all just been jacked so long, so we don't even know.
Yep.
And just money, and the Pentagon, they haven't had a balanced budget since before I was alive. Way before my mama was alive. And so, I mean, it's just throwing away money and robbing and paying, and it's just a mess. And the people are just too stupid. And they tell you, well, as long as you can blame that poor person over there picking oranges, like somebody just said, maybe people can get a job. You want to go out there? You want to do that? You want to do hospitality? You want to work in the hotel cleaning and do it? No, you don't want to do that. You're an American, and they're checking you check all these taxes. You want to be able to provide a room, daycare, if you want to have children and things like that, be able to have some good medical care, be able to educate your children, and not be taxed to death. You want to know that you're paying taxes so that we have regulations so they won't just do anything and poison food. We'll have regulations on buildings so that your roof won't cave in, and that you can do some things and have some type of a quality of life. That's what the people want. And if we pay all these big taxes, we should be able to have that. But they got so much money going overseas for this, for that, and they should have been made the Europeans tighten up on their things so that they can protect themselves for things like that, instead of us paying all our money so that they can put more money into their social program. They should have been on them. Since I understand how we be the world's protector, but at some point, I know Obama used to be fussing about it. It was time for them to start to pay more of their own things and stuff over there. This type of stuff should have been done, and the American people, since we're supposed to be the greatest and the richest, why is so many people homeless on the street? Why is everything so high? And why some people can't go to the doctor?
Yeah, people cannot afford their medicine. And I'm lucky that I got the VA and TRICARE. But when I be standing in the line sometime, I be watching these elderly people trying to bargain with the bargain with the pharmacist. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, that sucks. And they need that medicine too. You can tell that they need it. And then the pharmacist will tell them how much it costs, and then they have to turn around with no medicine. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
They can't afford it, or I'll buy half of it right now.
Yeah. I heard people talking like that. Yep.
Yeah, I'll buy half of it. And our seniors who worked their whole lives and paid all, Lord have mercy, when I look at the type of taxes my mother and my father paid. And, I mean, they should be living good, owning their own property. They do. Owning their own property, law-abiding citizens, paying their taxes, doing what they're supposed to do, and everything is still coming the F out of pocket to keep things going.
That's crazy.
And that is just not right. It's just not right. And some of our seniors can't afford to buy food, buy the nutrition, and things that they need and stuff like that. The children should be able to go to school. Lunch should be free in every school. We can't feed the kids lunch or give them a breakfast. We can't do that. No, I know. So that's why I ain't got too much to put in neither party. But I will say,
one isn't as bad as the other.
Yep. Yep.
But they
Man, I mean, you people got to vote for Democrats. You got to vote for Democrats. You got Nazis on the other side. Literal Nazis on the other side. That's what they're doing. You got internment camps. You got internment camps. You got people wearing Nazis. You got Stephen Miller up there as a blatant Nazi. So I mean, you can't vote for the damn Nazis.
And he says you got so much craziness and that, and they cancel all the research, the children's cancer research. They're trying to take us back. South Carolina, I heard about that screwed-up state. I'm sorry, Tyrone, I can talk about it because where my parents are from. That screwed-up state that had the measles that just done gone crazy. And they trying to give us vaccines. They cancel. They don't want to pay the money for children's cancer research.
That's crazy.
Alzheimer's research. I mean, what the hell? We're being jacked, and they don't want to do nothing. Absolutely nothing for the people. They want to get rid of all of the regulations, so people want to put some type of cheap chalk. They want to make something like it. They want to make grits and make it white. They can put chalk in it, do any kind of thing. I mean, it's absolutely insanity. And that's the only reason why I do vote Democrat, most majority, because at least they throw you a bone.
Yep.
It. And we shouldn't have to live like that.
But look, it's time for me to get off here, y'all. I'm gonna have to get out of here.
I don't will, and I gotta go. And Tyrone, we'll see next week.
Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen next week. All right, guys. Look, if y'all, yeah, it's gonna be worse. If y'all want to call in, y'all can call in. I'm gonna open these lines up. Y'all can call in and talk and all that kind of stuff. But YouTube gonna get ready to shut y'all down. Y'all have a good night. Enjoyed y'all. I guess we done ran Sarge ass home. Crazy fucker. All right, y'all.